Hello, everyone. Good day. Today, I will start with a big fucking L on my forehead for being wrong about everything that happened. Thank you guys for joining us. We have a great one today, and we also have a great guest with us. My man, Nicholas Downie. How you doing, brother?
Hanging in there, man. Just chilling. I kept wanting to say it's Monday, but it's not. It's Thursday.
You're not the first person. Yeah.
The days are just blending together at this point.
That's I actually saw that earlier. I forgot which conversation it was on Twitter. Just I don't know, for some reason this week, like there's a few people who have had their days all jumbled up and shit. So it's been that kind of week, man. But dude, thank you for joining us. Hopefully we're gonna have a great one. It's gonna be a fun conversation. Guys, this is the Backlog Chronicles, episode 30. Mike, I always depended on you for this one.
That's a 39 right there, boss man.
Oh, wow, yes, man. Okay, so we're not quite there yet. God damn it, really 39? No, I wanted 40. Episode 40. And we're going to be talking about, just all the megaton of shit that happened today and the other minuscule stuff that happened throughout the week before today. But I am Mo. I'm Dr. Mo Mokauma. I'm with my brothers. First, Mr. Kevin K-Med. How you doing, baby?
I'm good. It's been a crazy week, but I'm here. I'm ready, and I'm glad Nick has such an epic beard because we are the bearded brothers here. So,
yes, we are, man.
Yeah,
yes, we are.
Epic beard, man.
Nick's beard is quite, man. It's got a life of its own. I appreciate that beard, Nick. I just got to let you know, man.
When you live in Canada and you work outdoors for a living 12 months of the year, the beard is just a natural face warmer.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm from Michigan, so we're not as cold, but
yeah, it's always cold.
Yeah, it can be pretty freaking cold over here. And my man, Mike. Machine Gun Mike.
Yo,
what's up, baby?
Nothing much, man. Just chilling. I feel like in the entertainment side of things right now, I am like in this, I'm waiting until something big hits. Like, I mean, officially, not like announcements or whatever, but I'm talking like next week's a big week for a lot of things, man. So like, I'm waiting for next week on March 18th for everything to roll out. So like for me right now, dude, I am just like, I don't know. I'm playing a lot of Xbox lately. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm. You are one of those born again Xbox players. Yeah. I love to see it, man. Oh yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. But before we start, Nick, tell everybody what you do, man. What you do, where they can find you, what's going on. Talk to us, man. Right. Come on, give us some of that spice, baby. Come on.
So basically, I started shit posting about video games like 6 years ago, and then someone decided to hire me to shit post about video games and articles, and that somehow landed me eventually in Windows Central somehow. So I write about video games freelance and do a lot of cool things, had a lot of opportunities over the years to talk video games with a lot of cool people, meet a variety of great people across the community landscape. I do my own podcast, Gaming Perspective. Done that for about a year and a half now. Talk video games and, just bicker with my friends about, playing different games and everything else. And if you're not playing Hitman 3 in the year of 2021, I will personally drive to your house and slap your mother.
Yeah. What's up, that's some serious shit, man. You know what? And I'll slap. I don't know about mothers, man. I don't know if I'm ballsy as you are, but I'll slap something. So. You know what, though? On that note, you should actually slap me for it, all right? Look, let me tell you one thing. This fucking Hitman. So when 3 came out, everybody was telling me, look, I've always loved Hitman. I've never been into it, Like, I've always been, like, here and there, whatever. So everybody, 3 came out, and we obviously know, the great feedback it's gotten and everything. And I'm like, you know what, man? I started asking some people whether I should play the first 2, and they're like, nah, you don't need to. You can just jump into 3. You know, who cares about the story? People don't play Hitman for the story. And I'm like, well, fuck that. I want to know what the story is. I'd like to know the lore. So I looked it up, and there's actually a great amount of lore there. You know, the story's pretty deep. It's pretty detailed. Now, I wish they did a better job of actually relaying that information, you know, because the games are, I mean, they're older, right? And it's like one continuous story, even from the older games. So it's not like this trilogy was like a reboot. It was a reboot in terms of gameplay and visuals and whatnot, but it was still a continuation of that story from before. And once I realized that, I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna play Hitman 1 and 2. So I played Hitman 1. I played Hitman 2. I finished them both. And I'm like, yes, I'm gonna get to Hitman 3. And then I start playing Division 2, and now I'm playing Resident Evil 7, and I'm like, oh, I went 1 month with playing these games with the full intention of starting 3, and now I haven't even touched it, I haven't even tried it yet. Like, I can't wait to start that Dubai level, because that's all I hear, like, is how great the game starts out. But yeah, that's a good call, man. That's a good call on Hitman 3. People should play that, dude. Absolutely. Nick, what are you playing nowadays, man?
Been playing around with the Division 2 because that got X enhanced, and I played it a bit when it launched, and it didn't really sink in. But now it's like I reinstalled it. I was like, I'll check it out for like half an hour, and then I put in like 4 hours in the night. I was like, oh boy, here we go. It's one of those games that just once it gets your hooks in, you're done. You're toast. A little bit of that, and for some reason I've been on a Bethesda game kick lately. I don't know why. And I rebooted up. I rebooted up.
I wonder
why. But I've been playing Wolfenstein 2 again because, you know, hatcheting Nazis might be one of the best side hobbies I've ever invested in video games. It's fantastic. The game's it's so kinetic, and it comes to life in such a way. And when I first played Wolfenstein 2, I really didn't like the damage response within the game. I felt like you always died too quickly and everything else, and I was kind of like not a huge fan of it. And then I played Doom Eternal and then came back to Wolfenstein 2, and now I find I'm playing Wolfenstein 2 like Doom Eternal, and it's a way better game that way. And it's wild. So
what you're talking about? Wolfenstein 2 is way better after playing Doom Eternal?
Yeah, well, like I'm playing Wolfenstein 2 in a completely different way after playing Doom Eternal, and it's really weird. But it's one of those things where sometimes when you first play through a game, you're like, "Oh, this is good," but it's just not clicking. And then you go through it a second time after playing something else, and you're like, "Whoa, this is really good." And I'm just having that kind of moment with the second Wolfenstein. It's really good.
Listen, dude, Wolfenstein 2 is one of my favorite shooters of the past decade.
Same.
Like, it's not even close how just fucking polished that game is and how well made it is. The only thing is, like, they had these pockets of like this strangely harder AI, you know, like depending on where you go, right? But in terms of the total package, and in terms of Frau Engel, who I think is probably one of the greatest antagonists I've ever seen. She was such a bad bitch. I mean, that's like the best way. I mean, dude, she was just a nightmare, you know. I mean, and you know, on the top of the public execution and the way she just relentlessly chases you, and unbelievable, man. Holy shit, what a game. If you I mean, you know what though? I didn't see that in that Game Pass edition for tomorrow, right?
No, they don't have the second one in there. They've got
they only have the New Blood
or New Blood
the Old Blood.
Old Blood, yeah, Old Blood in the first one there, the New Order. Which if people haven't played those, like, go play those.
Yeah.
And also, I'm going to make my appeal publicly right now. Put the old Bethesda games on Game Pass. Like, get me like Wolfenstein 3D on Game Pass. Like, make that happen. Like, get the classics back on there. Get Quake on there somehow. Get that backwards compatible. Get that on there.
Do they have? What's the one that was on the OG Xbox? Was it Return to Castle Wolf? No, not Return. Which Wolfenstein was it on the OG Xbox, man? Damn, I can't remember the name.
Xbox.
The OG Xbox. I can't remember. So maybe somebody.
Because I'm also thinking about that 2000. What was it? The one on 360. I'm thinking of too. That spin-off one.
Oh
with,
no,
like,
no,
the
no, no.
cyborgs and stuff. That's the one I was thinking of. God, another one you talk about because
I'm pretty sure it's Return to Castle Wolfenstein.
It is Return to. Okay, so it's Return to Castle Wolfenstein. That one was amazing. So. That one was amazing. Believe it or not, that was the one that actually made me fall in love with the Wolfenstein franchise. It was Return to Castle Wolfenstein on the OG Xbox. So, yeah, dude, Division 2. That's a fucking that's a deep dark abyss you don't want to fall into right now if you're planning on playing anything old, like especially with the enhancements and whatnot. It's amazing. It's a completely different game. And then I started playing and I'm like, oh my god, if I start getting into this right now, holy shit, my obsession will take over, and I kind of like wean myself off so I can play Resident Evil 7 and all this other stuff. So crazy shit, man. But that's good. Kevin,
yo,
what are you playing, baby?
Well, I played a little Division 2 with my man Machine Gun Mike last night, but I have been playing a little bit of Division 2. It's smooth as fuck on the Series X.
God, so good.
It's very, very nice.
So good.
And I played. I think I have. I was telling Mike before the show. I think I have like 30 days played of Division 1. And Division 2 didn't quite strike me as much, but I see myself kind of headed down into the dark Division hole.
Yes.
I just felt like Division 2 was more, it just has a whole lot of shit to do. It's almost overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, there's a ton of content there. They just reset some manhunts and, and I thought the old manhunts were going to be replayable. I haven't looked into that, but there's a ton of shit to do. It's practically free, out there. The Warlords of New York expansion is on sale just about everywhere. Fucking get that shit if you need something to just dive into and, lose your spouse over. Yeah. So, if you want a divorce, Division 2's it. And I've been playing some other shit,
recipe.
But that's the recipe, Division 2 or World of Warcraft. But yeah, no, I've been playing just off and on. I actually played a little Red Faction Remastered on PC, which I don't know why I played it, but I remember liking it way back in the day. It didn't age all that well, but I don't know. The remastered version is all right.
Remastered.
Yes, it's remastered. I didn't just have a stroke.
Oh god.
But yeah, remastered. But those Red Faction games were kind of fun back in the day. But otherwise, I've been really fucking busy at work, so I haven't had too much time to sit down and play.
Yeah. Good shit, man. That's good. Mike, I think for the first time, I ask you, what have you been playing? You might not say
Avengers?
I'm so proud of you this week too, man. I want you to say what you've been playing and what you beat.
Well, I hate to disappoint a little bit because like right in front of my fucking screen right now is Avengers, but all right. but over the last full week, I've been playing nothing but Halo games, and I've been thinking about, in video game wise, nothing but Halo. And it puts a lot of perspective into me seeing Xbox. Okay, so like I always told you, Mo, and plus what the hell is going on with Bethesda and all this kind of stuff is like I feel like I'm entering the Xbox like scene like at a perfect time. And it's not even to be fanboyish or whatever the fuck, which I have a take on that as well. But it's just like, man, there's a reason why people only like Xbox. There's a reason why people only like Sony. But to me, in my mind, you ain't a true gamer unless if you only like both. And to me, that's if you want to get
hot
fanboy,
take.
Yeah, if you want to get into like fanboy talking, it's like you're not a true gamer unless you own both. If you don't own both, get off my conversation, man. You know what I mean?
Hot take right off the bat. I love it.
I love it. Super edgy or whatever, but I was just thinking about that the other day, where it's just like, dude, both of these hitters, man. Anyway, so let's go back to Halo real quick, right? Let's go back to Halo. Okay, so Halo Reach was really good. The campaign was very touching, and it hit me, and it was like, I didn't expect it to be so fast, but it was. Then I played Halo 4 with Jordan all the way through Legendary Edition. He was like, it's going to lag a little bit because the servers suck or whatever. And I was like, okay, we'll get over it. I didn't tell him this. I only told him that it was an issue once because I kept dying. And I was just like, I suck. I don't know, but it was lagging the entire time, just to be fair. Okay. And when I mean the entire time, I'm talking, you got more than 2 enemies. It was like, and it was just like, it was hard for me to play, but like I understood like what was happening. You know what I'm saying? Jordan was a good enough player to like kind of carry me through the way. But anyways, I liked what was going on. I understood like the differences between hardcore fans, what they thought about it, what they didn't think about it, how the change of 343 Industries like was implemented into the Halo series and stuff like that. Pretty cool. Like, I don't know. I liked Halo 4 from like a blind perspective. I really liked it. I love the music. And then, Division 2.
That makes me very proud of you, by the way.
Dude, I am like, I want to play 1, 2, and 3, but I'm like holding myself back because I'm like, what if these other guys want to play with me? And they like, and they're like, oh, come on, let me play with you. And so it's like one of those things like, maybe I should just wait until like people get word. If not, I'm just about to like run through all the first 3 games like here soon. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm having a good time with Halo. Good
shit, man. That's good. That made me very, very happy. But dude, like Jordan is loving it. Jordan's absolutely loving it because Jordan's such a hardcore Halo fan, man. And
I did
just him playing it with you, and he's just like, man, he's just experiencing everything, and he's telling us, just him talking to you about the story and just
you guys fell in love on Twitter. It was amazing.
Oh yeah,
it was amazing. He wrote up a little article about you and everything. He's got a shrine. It's cute. Cute. I like it.
Sparks, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, Diego, I know you said you can't own both because I'm a stay-at-home dad. You know what, Diego? You're a gamer in my heart, my friend. You are a true gamer.
Always a gamer.
Xbox or PlayStation. There are exceptions just for some people. We'll make that for Diego.
But yeah, and just to get on the Doom thing, because Halo is such a exclusive to Xbox, Mo, and like me, man, I'm always like revering for Xbox to have exclusives because I want to feel like how I feel with PlayStation, where it's like you can only play God of War or Bloodborne, and playing Halo after all these years of not playing Halo, it is like it just reinforces that Halo Infinite better be boss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, dude, that's a good IP to have into addition of what is to come in the future with this acquisition and all that stuff. Like, it's just, like I literally felt today like genuine excitement for Xbox. And I was like, these boys are getting back. But anyways, okay. But that's it.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. But
Halo, baby.
You said it yourself. You did come in at the.
I know, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, you're coming in at a good time, man. It's kind of just to bounce off of Ainsley's tweet from earlier this morning when he said he's like, "What a time to be a gamer, dude." Holy shit! It's you're coming in at the right time.
Hell yeah!
That's lovely,
man.
Dude.
All right, well.
I've been actually neglecting my friends on PlayStation, and I didn't even tell them. I'm just like, I'm not playing tonight, and that's what I tell them.
Sorry, guys.
I should hanging out with my other homies.
My Xbox guys, I guess. I don't know if they're into that fanboyism shit or not, but
all right. So every now and then today, just because of the hill that I died on from before we actually get to talk about the topic, I'm just gonna randomly do this, okay, just to make some people happy if they want to see it. I will take the L.
It makes me so happy.
I will happily. Hey, what did you say, man?
Hey,
I thought you were
taking an L,
with
Mo.
me.
Ain't nothing wrong with taking an L, baby. You want to be wrong. You want the L in this case.
I love the L, man. I'm happy to be wrong, and we're gonna get to that. We actually talked about it with Nick right before the show started. So the first thing we will go through is, we were talking about the Division 2 right now, honestly, and we took away a lot of the thunder of the conversation itself. And so apparently it's more popular than ever. It surpasses 40 million people, and then obviously there was future content that was discussed as well. And I don't want to retread the topic because we literally just got done talking about it too, but I mean, it's some impressive numbers that they had, 40 million players. March 2020 was the Division 2's highest activity. And then obviously they talked about, new content coming up. And then like you were talking about, Kevin, earlier, if you haven't gotten the Warlords, that's $9 right now. Warlords of New York, because it'll go back up to 30. And then they said they're going to rerun previous seasons released during year 2. So next season, so season 5 will be a rerun of season 1, which gives you the chance to collect rewards and collectibles that you might have missed out on. And that's something that appeals to me because that's something that I'm definitely going to be doing for sure.
It's cool. Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome because I just got back into it. So, yeah. And like I was saying, like, I'm not surprised to see the sudden surge in it. And I think a lot of it also has to do with these incredible enhancements, right? Like, I mean, we were just talking about whether it's Series X or PS5. Like, I mean, for me, I haven't played it since like maybe the first month of launch. And just to jump back into it now and just to see it in this glorious 4K and just this beautifully buttery smooth 60 FPS, right? I mean, it felt like it was a new game to me, right? I mean, and that's where we're at right now with these consoles. Like, we're at the point where they're literally going to change the way games feel and look, games that we've played before, like for instance, like everybody knows how much I love God of War and how much I gush about it. And I haven't gone back to it yet, but I mean, everybody who has played the enhancement since it came out has told me that it's just phenomenal. This is the way that it should be. This is the way that it should have been. And I love this. You know what, Diego? Just for you, man. Here, dude. I'm gonna fucking take that. I'm gonna do that fucking dumbass
man.
Fucking throw gasoline on me. I'm sorry, Diego. That was for you.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah. So the anyway, yeah. Like I think the enhancements themselves have to do a lot with it, and I'm just happy to see this. It's great for the longevity, and I hope more and more jump on. I hope more and more developers and publishers and whatever it is just see this newfound success that these older games are having even more than before with these enhancements. So, Nick, I know we talked about the Division 2, but do you have anything to add, like with this success, the recent numbers that they've had and whatnot? Like, what's your take on it?
Well, I think what's kind of interesting is we see the Division 2's doing really well now. We saw Destiny spiked back up again when they did their next generation patch. We're seeing a lot of these service games when they get patched. A lot of people are going, this isn't a bad time to jump back in and just see what it looks like. And I see that Ubisoft and definitely Bungie with Destiny were like, hey, we should have a wealth of content just waiting for these people that just want to dip in and see how it feels. And I think that's a really smart strategy, and it's obviously working for both of them. And I'm just really happy to see people in general just kind of talking about like, wow, 60 FPS does feel better. Like, combat in games in 60 FPS versus 30 is a whole different ballgame. Like, people are like, oh, why does this combat feel so punchy? You can't explain it, but it feels more kinetic.
Yes.
And 60 FPS is a huge part of it. That's one of the reasons, why Doom Eternal was so good.
Yes.
That 60 FPS made it feel like butter. It makes things look natural. When you roll into Division 2 now at 60 FPS, it's the weirdest thing. But it looks so awkward and gangly because it's running. You're getting extra animations. That's what so many people don't understand. 30 to 60 gives you more animation room. So if the developers put those animations in, it looks so good. And that's why the God of War enhancement you mentioned is so good, because Sony Santa Monica put all that animation and effort in, but was locked to a certain frame rate. Now it's to 60. You're seeing things in ways you never saw them before. And it's just really beautiful to re-experience the games you love.
So fucking
that's all there is
good,
to
man.
it.
So that's good, awesome. Man. So good. Kevin, Division 2.
Dude, enough said. I mean, it runs, it plays great. I don't know what else there is to say about it. I love the general broader, conversation of these games getting replayed because they have communities that are just kind of waiting for reasons to play them, and for the longevity of these games, I just love seeing that. I really wish they'd optimize the original Division, because I'd pop back in there too. I mean, they won't, but I could dream. And I just love seeing that. Destiny 2 was the same way when they enhanced it. I mean, it feels and plays like a different game, and I think it's even more evident in the third person, Division 2. But both games play and feel so much better on the new consoles, regardless of which one you're on. It's much more equivalent to that PC experience, and some of the guns are even more usable at 60 FPS. I think it's very difficult to use a handgun in Destiny 2 on a console with the combination of 30 FPS and the controller. Handguns were kind of just janky on Destiny 2. On the PC, you just had such an advantage. So you get real world mechanical improvements to these games. So it's not only when people say, oh, I don't care if my games are pretty. Sure, whatever, I don't give a shit. But if they play better, then I give a shit. Like 60 FPS just gives you a better gameplay experience in most cases. There are exceptions. There are adventure games that could be a fucking PowerPoint presentation and nobody would give a shit. But in most cases, I take 60 FPS over 30 any day.
No question, dude. I mean, it's not even. Yeah, the only time, Mike, I'm gonna get to you in a second. The only time I've actually recently made that concession was for Cyberpunk, because the 60 FPS. I mean, granted, we're playing the last gen version, but the 60 FPS was in 1080p, right? And for me, I'm like, look, man, this game, we know it's pretty, right? I just want to see more of it, right? Like it looked pretty flat to me, in the 60 FPS mode in 1080p. So then I went to the quality mode, which I think increased it to like 1600 or 1800p or something like that. So it actually it did look nicer. It did look better. I mean, it's not like it's earth shattering, but it was in 30 FPS. But I sank 140 hours into it, so I mean, clearly I didn't give a shit. But but other than that, no, I'll opt for 60 all day. Mike, you've been playing Division 2 now. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I think it's pretty solid. I don't have the next gen enhancements or whatnot, but the game itself is still solid. I played 1 heavily. I played 2 when it first came out. I just recently picked it up, playing it again. And it was because of the sales and all that stuff. So it's I think it's the mixture of the sales, the upgrade. And I think it kind of goes back to that, what Nick was saying about 60 frames per second. It's you don't know the difference because you've never experienced the difference. You just hear people talk about 60 frames a second, and Division is one of those games because right now it has an opportunity to get in the hands of more players. More players are realizing that, whoa, this actually is a good overall game, like a good live service. It has a lot of content. It has PvP, it has PvE, it has both kind of in the dark zone. It has it's very unique and it's good. The shooting feels good. The cover mechanics feel good. It just feels good all over. And with both DLCs being on sale, with the next gen enhancements, I think you're seeing a lot of players I've always wanted to check this out. And then they checked it out and they were like, wow, I really like this. I'm going to kind of hang in there. There is so much in that game to where that game is one of those games to me where it seems like it could be something that I always play peppered throughout my gaming, that I can always pick up, go back to it. I'll feel like I'm gaining progression with my build or with loot systems because, dude, and it really is, it gives you everything where it seems overwhelming. And you're you think about it and you're okay, so if I really wanted to complete everything, I would have to be playing this game every single day for hours a day.
Oh yeah.
Because that's how much stuff there is. And good or bad, whatever, I think that's cool in a way. You know what I mean? But whenever I get on there and they're donate 10 knee pads, I'm fuck that, dude. I don't know if I'm gonna really.
Why do these people need so many knee pads? Are we really that desperate for money? I mean, what is happening?
Yeah, so I'm kind of all right, let's just stick to the main stuff, get a good build going, and primarily it's a game where I want to enjoy it with my friends. I'm not gonna hyper focus and make it my primary progression stance on a game or whatever, but it is a game to where it's no matter when you're playing it, you're gaining progression, and you're like, there's just so much to it. It looks good, it feels good. I mean, that game is worth a buy, especially right now. No doubt about it, hands down.
Oh yeah. So
I'm liking it.
No way, really?
no shit.
That's good.
It's
That's
hard,
good.
too.
Wow.
It's hard,
Just to
dude.
clarify, Mike is actually enjoying his time on the Division.
Yes, he is. Yes,
In case
he
people
is.
were wondering, and he goes rogue
Hey,
in
you
the
know
dark
what?
zone.
I'm
Look
about
what
that
Jordan
dark
just
zone,
said,
man.
man. No, look what Jordan just said. This answers your question about the fucking knee pads. Bursitis is an epidemic in post-pandemic DC, and he is absolutely right, man.
Fucking
Spot
bursitis.
on, baby.
Damn it.
He nailed it. There's your answer. So, all right, cool, man. Yeah. So if you haven't played Division 2, I would play Division 2.
Hell yeah.
All right. So to quickly touch on this, I think we already knew this, really, but I mean, apparently, BioWare has no plans for native Series X or PS5 upgrades for the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and they basically said, "Yeah, I know." See, because they basically their explanation is because they said it was just a bridge too far, to go a full-on next-gen launch. They said, if I'm buying a game on this generation of hardware, I expect a lot from it, and I think it's more than what we could have. Yeah, I know it's bullshit, but basically the games were made in Unreal. The games were made in Unreal Engine 3, and they pushed them as much as they could, but they did say that. Oh wait, hey, were you really coughing, man, or were you just fucking saying that it was bullshit? Because I'm kind of confused right now. I was looking at another screen. I didn't even know what was going on.
I actually said Anthem.
Oh yeah. Okay, never mind.
That's what I said. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I was gonna say like bless you or some shit. I had no idea what was going on.
Hey, I shit myself. Just keep going.
Oh man,
It's fine.
But they did say that for the new consoles that there were going to be some things that were going to take advantage. SSD speeds, obviously, and then higher frames, higher resolutions, stuff like that. So they will be optimized for the new consoles, but in their last gen state, basically, which I'm okay with, man. Honestly, like we've seen the screenshots. We've seen the screenshots and everything like that. I mean, we're not expecting some type of miracle, unless, we already know the quality of life improvements that they've made, especially to part 1, and the games still look good, and as long as they were able to touch them up, I mean, is it disappointing? Yeah, a little bit, but it's a remaster, and I'm just glad that we're getting it, and it's in the proper form, and it'll take advantage of the new consoles the way I guess some games are doing it now, despite not being enhanced for the new consoles, aka Cyberpunk, because that's the only one that I can think of right now. So yeah, Nick, you got anything to add on this whole Mass Effect? No current gen. I gotta stop saying next gen. So I'm gonna try to stick with current gen now.
So hard. At what time do we cut off?
I just used the number.
Yeah, that's
true. I think.
Oh man. Oh yeah. Okay.
Ooh,
You're going the classy route.
Centuries. This is the 21st century. This is the 9th generation of gaming consoles coming your way.
Nick, what do you got for me?
Man, I want 4K 60 butts, and I'm not getting 4K 60 butts. No, I don't know. It doesn't bother me because I'm gonna admit my main cardinal sin is I've never played a Mass Effect ever, so I'm interested to play the remasters because I've never touched a Mass Effect game. So with them being a fresh experience for me, and then quality of life improvements for Mass Effect 1, which I hear is much needed.
Yes.
I'll take those. Anthem died, so this could gimp to the finish line, I guess. I don't know. BioWare's got a lot going on, but I really hope that the Mass Effect Legendary Edition does do something good, because BioWare cannot do 3 in a row. You can't do Mass Effect Andromeda into Anthem and then have the collection of your legacy games be bad. Because if that happens, nobody's going to have any faith in them for the future. And as a Canadian, I love BioWare too much. I can't let them die. I cannot let them die. They're like the one of like 4 game development studios we have up here. So.
I understand your love and your bias and your affinity and blah, blah, blah. But at the same, look, we can blame the management, okay? Because of the things that happened, with Anthem and Mass Effect Andromeda and whatever it is. And because I don't put it all on EA, right? I put on EA Anthem, right? I put axing Anthem. And not pursuing the 2.0 or putting more money into it or whatever. I put that on EA because they looked at it and they were just like, nah, fuck this shit. Just start working on Dragon Age and the next Mass Effect. Let's just can it. But the preparation for Anthem is to blame on BioWare because they sat around scratching their balls for about 3 years trying to figure out what they're going to do with this thing. And then finally, this is as far as we know, in the last 2 years, not even, that's when they really started getting to work. And when you're working on a game of that scope and that magnitude, 2 years isn't going to do shit, man. That's just going to make you the intro. So
yeah, and the Anthem thing's weird to no end anyways. Like the whole well, we're not going to look at any of the other looter shooters on the market and see what they did wrong. So then we'll commit the same cardinal sins that Destiny did at launch, that the Division did at launch. And by that time, everyone's like, okay, we've gone through this with Destiny. We've gone through this with the Division. We're not doing this with a new IP at this point. And people just had enough of it. Like I said, Mass Effect Remastered Trilogy, I hope the whole thing's amazing. I hope it's what fans want and everyone gets what, they want. Because, to me, BioWare hasn't made good games since Baldur's Gate, and that was 2002. So,
oh come on, dude! Hold on. So you never played Knights of the Old Republic or Jade Empire?
Oh no! I've played KOTOR's good, but KOTOR 2 is better.
Did you play Jade Empire?
Yep, Jade Empire is good, but not as good as Baldur's Gate.
He's one of those. All right, I respect that. Okay. All right.
I've never touched a Dragon Age. I've never touched a Dragon Age game either. So, Mass Effect, Dragon Age, never touched either of them. So,
yeah, Dragon Age. I've honestly never played Dragon Age. Mass Effect, all 3 of them. Multiple times. But yeah, I don't know about Dragon Age. Maybe the next one. Kevin, where are you at with this?
I don't believe them. I don't believe anything they say. I don't believe it. I'm not fucking buying it because you know what? It's gonna be optimized. I don't believe them. I think it's gonna sell so good, and they're gonna be like, "Oh shit, we should probably optimize it," and then they're gonna optimize it, and then I'll fucking buy it for $19.99 because BioWare just fucking no. I'm done. No, I can't even talk about them without getting mad. Fuck Canada and BioWare. I hate them all. You can keep BioWare. I don't even want them anymore. Anthem, fucking Mass Effect, Andromeda. Jesus Christ, man. Anyway, ugh, dude.
So I think just to kind of since we're on BioWare, just tangentially, I think if the Mass Effect Legendary Edition that we're getting right now is buying them time. This is buying them time, right? Because we've already talked about it before with Anthem, and I do think that they EA knew what they were going to do, but I think to avoid the PR hit, they kind of fucked with us for a few months and put out some shit that was made on, Adobe Photoshop, to just psych us out and to let us think that they were working on it. But I think this is going to buy them time, because the studio now is under new management. It's going in a new direction, blah, blah, blah. So if Dragon Age does not work out for them, if it's a shit show, or especially if the next Mass Effect is another shit show, then it's going to be a big problem. And you really can't sink lower than where they got to at this point, right? So the only direction they have to go is up. But if you stay there, nah, I don't know about that, man. All due respect to Canada, Nicholas, but hey, bro. I'm just saying, man.
Don't worry. If the next Mass Effect game's bad, Canada will no longer claim BioWare.
Nice.
Yeah, that is. You know what?
You'll send us BioWare like Justin Bieber.
Yes,
that is
we will Justin Bieber you BioWare.
Fuck.
Yeah. That's true. That is true. Actually, you can fucking keep him too. Mike, what's your take on Mass Effect, man? Did you say you were going to play them when the remastered
Yeah, I
ones
am
come
going to
out?
get this. So with the Halo thing, I forgot who I was telling. I think I was telling the guys last night that like with the Halo thing, I'm getting exactly my space adventure in. And I was concerned for Mass Effect because I know that's coming out or whatever. And I was like, oh, I wanted Mass Effect to be my space thing, right? My
Mhm.
space adventure. And they kind of relieved me. They were like, no, it's completely different. It's like different enough to where like you'll want to experience that. So it's cool. With this news, I'm just like, I don't like it. I'll tell you that right now. I don't like it because it's Mass Effect. It's one of those things. It's almost like, to me, in my eyes, it's like the God of War 3, where it's like that game will always like progress, into the next generation, whether it's super enhanced or not, like, because it's shitty. It's old. It's just old. You know what I mean? This kind of tells me that they got so much shit maybe going on that was the best they could do with the resources that they had. And they like just focused on like going into this new thing, like, oh, fuck Anthem. All right, what can we do with Mass Effect? Like, let's give them a remastered, but we can't put a lot of time into there because I don't want to like remake older games because we kind of got a lot of stuff to build up from the future on. And that's what it kind of tells me. Like I could like lean towards the side where it's like, that's a half-ass job. But then again, like I'm sure that if I was like in the studio and understanding scheduling and what's going on, like, it would probably make a little bit more sense to where it's like, let's just kind of make them as good as we can without like putting the cherry on top. Let's sell these copies. Once again, these are remasters of games. Again, you know what I mean? So it's like kind of one of those things. Does it suck? Yes, because I would like to enjoy Mass Effect like trilogy or at least one or two, in the full scope of like 4K and 60 frames and stuff like that. But that's what it seems like to me. It does suck, but whatever. Hopefully, like from here on forward, everything else will just be like up to par and stuff, because Mass Effect being old, this is from like a non-Mass Effect fan as well, Mo. You know what I'm saying? It might have been one of those things where it's like, it's not that important. Let's just try to make money off of it as best as we can.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So
I'm about it, though. I'll still play
I
it.
mean,
I probably won't bitch about it. I'll play it.
I kind of said, I kind of said the same thing really about, fuck's the name of that game? Biomutant? Because they said Biomutant has no enhancements at all, right? It's a last gen game. So,
and who's making that one again? Like We Can Fly or something?
Nick, help me out here. Who the hell's developing Biomutant off the top of your head? Do you know? Your mic is muted, brother.
There you go. My first
THQ
we're all professionals here.
Okay.
What were you saying now?
Experiment
THQ
101. Right.
Yeah,
THQ Nordic. Okay, so they're publishing or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're not either. I mean, I get they're probably targeting the last gen audience, considering that there's a sizable amount of people who still have not upgraded yet. But come on, man. You're releasing a game 7 months into the 7 months into the new cycle. Like, give us something. Like even the people who own the new consoles, like it's good. It kind of like gives you that extra sauce.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, so that was kind of disappointing that it was missing, but whatever. I'm still gonna play it anyway. I don't know.
Right.
But
so one thing I've noticed too, Mo, and this is just to kind of hit on Avengers things. This is kind of where I got that idea from. Was it because like they were just super silent for a time, and then now it's just all like getting like thrown out into our faces? You know what I mean? And I feel like companies now, like most studios and most companies, because the 9th gen, right? That's what we're calling it. Has been out for a time, they're kind of into that next step and they're kind of ready to look forward instead of backwards, because whenever they start phasing out this old 8th gen stuff, like imagine what they can do, man. Like, how do we push this Series X and PS5 system? How do we push that to the maximum now? You know what I mean? Like, so I wouldn't be surprised to start seeing like this whole updated versions of these games kind of like fade away within the next like year or two, you know what I mean? And be like, oh, they're bringing that back. That won't have so much hit like in 2022. In 2022, you hear a remaster, you're gonna be like, fuck that. Give me an IP here, guys. Like push this console, please, kind of thing. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, whatever, bro. Fuck them for that, but I'm still gonna buy it and play it anyway. So, okay. So, Jeff Grubb, who has been in and out of the headlines over these past, actually over the past year, really, with his, he's, I will admit, look, he gets some stuff right. He gets a lot wrong, but he is generally right about, like he called the Square Enix thing on March 18th. He called the Xbox thing today. In that list of news that he's got or whatever it is, he did the same thing in the summer. So he was doing the reason why I'm mentioning him is because he was doing a podcast the other day, and he had mentioned that EA Motive, which had their previous project canceled, apparently they're working on an established IP, and it's a game that's going to make a lot of people happy. So that's what he said. That's a pretty bold thing to say, he just said like they're working on it. He didn't say like I heard they were working on it. He's just like, no, they're working on something that is going to make a lot of people happy, and it's an established IP. A lot of people
better.
Yeah, but then you start talking about imaginations flying everywhere, right? What the hell could it be? Could it be Dead Space? Could it be a Dead Space remake or remaster? Could it be a new Burnout? Considering that Criterion is now assisting with Battlefield. Could it be a new Def Jam Vendetta game? I love it. Def Jam, by the way, Def Jam Fight for New York is still my favorite wrestling game ever. Just gonna put it out there. I love
That's
it.
That's factual information. That's not even.
That's right, man. My fucking dude, right there, bro. You know what's up, Nick?
It's a good game.
See, it's a fantastic game, man. Don't let the name fool you. It was so freaking good. And then so nobody really knew. Maybe a new Medal of Honor. Who knows? But I don't want to spend, I don't want to sit here and just speculate and whatever. But if it's an established IP and it's something that's going to apparently make people happy. One, you can really narrow it down, right? I mean, what's going to make people happy out of all the IPs that I just mentioned? I think personally, Dead Space, Burnout. Unless Nick, Nick, I'm going to pass it over to you because unless there's something that you can think of, that I haven't. But if you're talking about an old IP or an established IP that people have been waiting for some sort of revival or a new entry into it, I like, in my personal opinion, I couldn't think of anything other than these two from the older games or from the older franchises that would kind of like get me to be really excited. What am I missing? I love Dante's Inferno. I think it's a really good game, but I don't think this is something that people have been asking for by no means, so I heard some people say like Dante's Inferno. I'm like, nah, I don't know.
Really? Really?
It's good.
No, it's not going to be Dante's Inferno.
It's not Dante's Inferno.
No fucking chance.
Yeah. No. That's just, yeah. Anyway.
Really? So that's what people were saying?
Yeah. So.
I'm sorry.
okay.
You're surprised. I thought you were like saying like.
No, I thought he was going to cry.
Like they don't want Dante's Inferno. Okay, now I see the.
Like,
context,
I would love a Dante's Inferno remake or whatever, but that's what they go to? Like that's what they're going to. That's like some pure fandom shit where it's like, oh, they want to make the most money. Dante's Inferno. What? No.
Yeah, deep in the discords of tentacle porn, Dante's Inferno was talked about for sure.
Okay, so it's hype then. Okay, so it's popular. It's trending.
So Nick, what do you got? And by the way, I am drinking Canada Dry, and I swear it's not because you're
wow. Brown noser.
I happen to love Canada Dry. All right, yeah. So
on the market.
What do you think of this?
So here's my thing. I like making educated guesses and everything else. Like I said on a podcast 4 months before Jason Schreier put out there that Obsidian will be bought by Microsoft and it will be announced. And then that came true and everyone gave Jason credit. And I'm not salty about it at all. But here's the thing.
That I would be. Shit.
EA Motive has worked on 2 games collectively. Star Wars Battlefront 2, they did support work on that. And they did Star Wars Squadrons. So for me, I'm kind of sitting there going, there's a lot of Star Wars going on right now. a lot of Star Wars. And we haven't seen a lot of what EA's slate of Star Wars games is going to look like. And from what I've heard is there's several EA Star Wars games in production alongside all the other Lucasfilms licensed out IPs that we've been seeing. So if I was going to go for one, it's a little bit more on the obscure side, but they recently re-released it. I'm honestly thinking that Star Wars Republic Commando gets another game, and it's not like your big IP, but it's Star Wars. So you can claim it's that big IP.
It's one of the best Star Wars games ever made.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
and with their work on Battlefront 2 and Squadrons, I think they would be a great studio to pull that all together. Oh, and also Respawn's going to make Medal of Honor again. That's going to happen. That'll happen this year. I don't know when. But Medal of Honor will come back and it'll wipe the floor with Call of Duty.
You really think they're gonna remake Medal of Honor? They would be the studio too. People forget, that's a good point. And the reason why is because people forget that Respawn, Vince Zampella is one of the creators of Call of Duty. The formula that you're seeing now with Call of Duty, that was made by him and his team. Remember him and Jason West before they separated? They were the ones that created Call of Duty, but they initially worked on Medal of Honor, and then they went and did their own thing, and then they created Infinity Ward, and they created Call of Duty. So the formula, that standard FPS formula that we're seeing now in terms of controls, that was basically ushered in by Call of Duty, that was from these guys. So if anybody wonders why Titanfall and Apex Legends controls so well and feels so well as shooters, it's because these guys were some of the pioneers of this shit, right?
They got some other people helping them out too, like Criterion helps them out, and they got some good talent, man. So if anybody could do it, it would be them.
That's got to be the studio that would have to revive Medal of Honor to get it back to that level. Look, in terms of, go ahead. I'm sorry. No.
One of the interesting things too is, so there was a Medal of Honor VR game done by Respawn. It's super weird that it was a VR game and everything else, but the creative director of that game, they did like a 40-minute behind the scenes with Respawn. Nobody watched it. But the creative director said a line like halfway through the documentary is like, yeah, I'm just really excited about the branching future of Medal of Honor and being a part of it in a big way. And no one ever picked up on the fact they said the future of Medal of Honor, because everyone went, Medal of Honor VR game, throw it out. And no one looked at it again. But Medal of Honor will come back. There's a space for it. And I definitely think if Battlefield doesn't hit its strides properly, EA will look to Vince Zampella and go, look, make us a Medal of Honor game. Because let's face it, Call of Duty Cold War was kind of a bit of a mess, and I really don't know how Activision's going to pull it together this year. Because we're going to get a Call of Duty game this year. There's two guaranteed things in life. My wife hitting me upside the head once a night, and Activision releasing a Call of Duty game. Those two things will always happen. And I don't know. I just think there's going to be some interesting things coming out of EA.
Yeah, I agree.
Dude, I would love it, man, honestly. If it was Republic Commando, well, I mean, obviously we don't know, but what do you think it would be? Because do you think they just did this release on the PS4 and that PS4 and Switch release just to kind of gauge interest in that? Because it was so odd why they decided to just release it. Why did they decide to re-release Republic Commando all these years, onto the PS4 and Switch? I mean, did you think like the timing was just weird? Like, hey guys, we're just going to release Republic Commando. I mean, people have been begging for something from Republic Commando. If you've played it, everybody knows it's a fantastic game, but yeah, man, that might be something over there. Kevin, what were you going to say?
Fuck, I don't even remember now. I mean, I have no idea. Yeah. I got nothing to say.
Yeah.
I was just talking out my ass like usual.
Yeah, that's okay, man. We're used to it.
Mike, I know.
EA Motive, any old EA besides Dante's Inferno? I know that's the one that you want the most, man.
Blows my mind.
He's still blown away.
So Medal of Honor would be a good thing. I kind of in the back of my mind thought that Titanfall franchise as well, just because it's super popular. There's a lot of games right here that own up to this potential it will make you happy. I think there's a lot of franchises out there that EA owns that they could have done better, or that got fans a few years back that they would love to see. I got a buddy who mentions Medal of Honor all the time, and I'm like, I've played it, but I'm just like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? Like Medal of Honor, whatever, but I agree with Nick. Everything that Nick said, like I'm kind of in that boat as well. Like, I mean, even if they brought back, what was that Star Wars game that was super popular? Knights of the Old Republic. Well, you mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, that was
right?
that was an RPG, but that was from BioWare. But yeah,
okay, right.
They
you know what I'm saying? Like,
matter,
there's a lot of those franchises that I would like to see. You know what? And if it's not Dante's Inferno, I'm sending death threats, Mo. Sorry, no, but yeah, there could be
the only human in this world.
There's a lot of potential there.
You and 3 other people at least.
What the hell? What are you talking about, bro? What are you, like 12 or something?
Oh shit, that's awesome.
Like,
dude.
I like me a good demon trip too, but holy fuck,
yeah, I know.
It's not gonna be this.
I know.
Hey, what's trending right now? Dante's Inferno.
I know.
Like,
not gonna happen.
The poem or the game? Like, what are we talking about? Whatever.
Fuck. Yeah. Well, yeah. So, whatever it is, honestly, I'm personally hoping that it's
hype all the way.
That it is. I just hope it's not something fucking lame like freaking what the hell's the name of that game? What the character's name was Yarny.
Unravel.
Oh, no.
What if they give us like Unraveled 3?
No, it'll be an Unravel MMO.
No. If they make another Mirror's Edge game, I'm throwing myself off a building because that's serious. I cannot do that game.
Dude, seriously. Honestly, even Agasicles, man, Bad Company, another Bad Company would be freaking awesome too.
That would.
Yeah, that would be
I
badass.
kind of would love to see a Medal of Honor. I mean, if they're going to fucking dick around with anything, it might as well be Medal of Honor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll see. Okay. You know what? This one I'm just gonna save it for later. But another one is just to mention it really quick. So, Nick, did you play Streets of Rage 4?
Absolutely.
Okay, my man. Did anybody else here play Streets of Rage 4?
I did a little bit, and then it got really hard, and I quit.
Mike, now you have Game Pass. Fucking download Streets of Rage
there?
4. Oh yes, it is.
Dude, I saw Battletoads on there too, and I was like, I'm gonna download.
Oh no! You're not playing Battletoads over Streets of Rage 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Please.
Got you.
Please. All right.
Yeah. We're gonna have to have a talk after the show.
Seriously,
Mike.
bro, you're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, you know what though? It's okay. It's all right. We're good, baby. We're good. You have access to it now. Anyway,
yes.
The developer of Streets of Rage 4.emu announced that they're making a this guy gas, man. I'm sorry. No, I'm not fucking damage controlling Cyberpunk. I'm over that shit. I'm done.
Yeah, don't get him on that topic again, Gaz.
No.
He's gonna get all butthurt.
No. So anyway, .emu announced that they're making a Ninja Turtles another side-scrolling beat 'em up. And it's very akin to the old Ninja Turtles games that we used to play on the SNES and the arcades and whatever. And it's called Shredder's Revenge. I think it's called Shredder's Revenge. Yeah, it is. So anyway, I was very excited to see this, man, because it even brings back. Do you remember that? Which game? I think it was Turtles in Time. Remember where you throw the Foot Clan? Where you throw the foot soldier into the screen. And he flies into the screen. So they're bringing a lot of that shit back too, right? Unfortunately, I think they're only going to make it couch co-op. There's no talk right now of online co-op, which I think is a big missed opportunity. But sure. But even Battletoads didn't have online co-op, and that was lame as fuck too. So I don't know why they're not implementing that. Like, come on, man! Especially now, like with COVID and shit. Like, who's doing couch co-op unless it's a family member? I don't know, like you got to take
it to get the Ninja Turtle names back out there as well. Like, I can connect with my people. Oh, Ninja Turtles. I used to watch this one, blah, blah, blah. That would be so cool if they brought it back. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. That's how those conversations start, man.
Yeah, I know, man. It just sucks, dude. But anyway, looks good. It looks like it's going to play good. And based on their pedigree and what they did with Streets of Rage 4, which I thought was amazing, I'm a big Streets of Rage slappy. You guys know that. So, I think they did a very, very good job with it. It was very enjoyable. And I have high hopes for this one, but again, lack of couch co-op does suck. I'm sorry, lack of online co-op does suck. And they said it's coming out for consoles, but it doesn't seem like they've like fully confirmed it yet. Like they said, which I think would be another missed opportunity, but I highly doubt that it's not going to come to consoles. There's just no fucking way. So, especially for a game like that,
100% mobile.
Don't do that.
100%.
Don't do that to me.
Oh my God, the look on
What
your
are we talking
face was
about,
amazing.
Kodak?
It was worth it. It was worth
Don't do
it.
that to me, man. Nip, did you see this game?
Yeah, absolutely. I was a huge Streets of Rage 4 fan because it was my first Streets of Rage game. Because when Streets of Rage 3 came out in '94, I was a year old, so I had like no experience with these.
God, you're so young.
Yeah, I'm only 27, so Streets of Rage is a little bit out of my depth. But Streets of Rage 4 was kind of this perfect blend of you can do something that plays like a classic arcade game, but doesn't have to control like an old arcade game. You can do something, make it feel fresh, but still, play with that nostalgia bit. It was just beautifully done. And to see them stay in that same realm and go, hey, nostalgia factor here, and the pedigree that we bring with this style of game, people are going to buy that hand over fist. And if it does come to console, even if it doesn't come to console, which would be a mistake, definitely see it being day one on PC Game Pass or Xbox Game Pass for sure.
Oh, really? Okay. Wait, was Streets of Rage 4, did it hit Game Pass right away?
I think it did, man.
It locked in Game Pass.
And it's still on there.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's still on there too. That's impressive, man. That's almost 1 year. I think it came out last year in April because it was like right after COVID hit. I remember it was right after I moved out, and I was like, "Yay! All right, well, that's something. That's at least something positive to come out of all this bullshit." So, Kevin, where you at with this, man?
I love Ninja Turtles. I love Ninja Turtles. It looks fine. I mean, it very Streets of Rage, very in that arcade, style. I'm totally okay with that. I don't have a problem with it. I would actually buy this game. I fucking love my Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah.
It's like that's my childhood. Is like if I were to pick one thing, it would be Ninja Turtles, playing Ninja Turtles in the arcade, playing Ninja Turtles at home on my NES, renting Ninja Turtles, paying the extra $2 for a 3-day weekend with Ninja Turtles. But no, it looks good. I actually hadn't watched it. I heard about it today. I just watched the video while Nick was talking, and that brought back a lot of memories, man. Like, wow, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. Again, if it comes out on Game Pass, even better. But I'd probably purchase it just to give him some extra income there, because that's it sounds like a good time. I am disappointed at the lack of online play because I don't have any friends. So I mean,
man, I don't
like what why not? I don't understand. Like, it can't be that hard to put in a little net code and fucking, we've been doing it since 1992. Whatever.
Hey, I don't remember.
Whatever, it's fine. They're going super retro. But yeah, just prepare yourself, Mo, for when it's 100% Android only mobile.
I am not going to prepare myself for that. That's a thought or an idea I don't even want to think about.
Hey, they're gamers too, man.
Nothing against. Hey, no. Not gonna get into that. I will just generically say, game and play wherever you want.
That's good.
Board games.
Mike, Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I'm loving this.
I want your opinion on Ninja Turtles, but for the love of God, Streets of Rage 4. Hit it on your Game Pass app and download it. You want to play it in co-op? Jordan will kill me if I play anything except Resident Evil 7. So
I just turned on my Xbox to do this because apparently all those games are like on Game Pass right now live. So I got like some downloading to do tonight. I'm liking this. Their animations, like when Mikey is like running and he's like they all have different running animations or whatever. I noticed Mikey was like the most fun type of animation. I like this. I love that Ninja Turtles game Back in Time. Like, that to me is what Ninja Turtles are besides the cartoon, back in the day. I like Ninja Turtles a lot. It's one of those franchises, like I say, where it's like when I think, I'll mention it again, when I think like games like Avengers but I'm thinking like, why not games like that, but Ninja Turtles?
Sure.
So like behind the shoulder, God of War, like they all each have different moves and bow staffs and size. Like I think that stuff for like Ninja Turtles, Predator, like those types of genres that were on TV do have a big like scope in gaming. If this is the first that we're going to see of Ninja Turtles being popular, because I really wanted that one game that came out a few years ago, or not a few years ago, maybe 2014. It was like TMNT. You could play 4-player co-op, and it was like kind of just like a real shitty like hack and slash kind of game. It leaves my mind exactly at this moment, but I wanted that game to be like what I'm kind of talking about right now. But if we can only get in side scrolling and like some 16-bit type of stuff, as long as it feels good, and if it's from the same people from Streets of Rage, like right now I want to go play Streets of Rage because I almost downloaded Battletoads and I didn't know that the people making Ninja Turtles were the same people. So that's awesome to me. Like to me, I am just like, yo, that Ninja Turtle game.
You play Streets of Rage over Battletoads. You can play Battletoads if you have time, but you play Streets of Rage first.
Okay,
That's right, Hassan. That's right, baby. We are nerds for life, and we fucking love it. Absolutely, man. That's what we do. That's why we're here. Okay. Well, I think it's time. I do think it's time. I don't know if Diego's still here. You know, if you are, I'm gonna make you happy again with the L on my head. Okay. For the biggest draw of the week, really. And look, I don't want to go back over the I want to talk about, obviously we're talking about the Xbox stuff, you know, and the Bethesda, and I don't want to retread the entire conversation like fucking Spider-Man and Superman movies where they feel like they have to retread the origin story every single time, you know. So we all know what happened. We all know, you know, when it was announced acquisition. Who the fuck is Uncle Ben, man? Hey, let's just show Uncle Ben in his 50th iteration
over and over
shot
again
in a different way. I mean, we just have to. So anyway, yeah, conversations, you know, all the hysteria and all of the debates over the past several months about whether, you know, exclusivity or not or whatever it is. We've talked about it here multiple times since it was announced. There is actually a paper trail. The hill I died on was that I didn't think that they would do it. I did not think that Xbox would keep Bethesda games exclusive to their platform. And my reasoning was really just, you know, because again, it wasn't necessarily like where I wanted to play them or how. It doesn't matter to me, right? Because I can play them either way. But the way I was looking at it was like I was just trying to be like I was trying to look at it from a more practical perspective. You know, I'm like, okay, look, Phil Spencer said he doesn't like walled gardens. He doesn't like exclusivity. He's always talked about it and he's been anti and whatever it is. And good guy Xbox, no way they're going to do it. So much goodwill, so much customer goodwill. There's no way they're going to wall people off and they're going to make bank no matter what, right? Now, when I said, you know, when I used to have debates with my friends, it wasn't necessarily that they needed, you see, because a lot of people used to misconstrue the fact that like, okay, so if you're saying that it's going to come on PlayStation, what you're saying is they need PlayStation's money. No, that's not what I was saying. We all know. And yes, I am. I absolutely am in my Xbox onesie for the second week in a row, man. I'm going to make it my I'm going to make it my podcast get up.
I just hope you wash it.
I was thinking about that too, Mo, the other day. I'm like,
it is washed, I promise. It is washed, I promise. Right? It is washed. So today's it's Xbox's day, man. I had to wear it again. There's just no way. So I know my take on it was not necessarily that they needed the money from PlayStation or whatever it was. No, my take on it was like, okay, it's corporate, it's money, of course. Like you always want growth, you always want more. So you either pay $70 or you don't pay $70 and you pay $15 a month and you play it day one on Game Pass. Either way, I was looking at it, it was a win-win. Now today, they put that to bed. They had an event with Bethesda, which we've all watched and we've all seen. You know, I don't want to retread everything that happened, but I think everybody watching the show already knows what happened, or everybody following with us now. But the point is Phil Spencer had said very clearly and concisely for the first time that, you know, the reason why, the biggest reason why this was made, why this deal was made, was to put games exclusively on the Xbox or on Game Pass, on the Game Pass service, or the devices that use Game Pass service, which obviously is either Xbox or PC at this point, which is what we know. So initially I was like, okay, shit, all right. Again, you know, I looked at it, I'm like, wow, okay, this is for you, Diego, again. But the way I looked at it is, after like thinking about it for a few minutes, honestly, like I was telling you guys before the show, I let it marinate, and I'm like, what the fuck? They actually did this, right? And when you really think about it, this to me was such a huge move, because if you would have, buying Bethesda itself was already a big deal, right? But if they would have put the games on other consoles, it would have been nice for for everyone involved, but it wouldn't have put Xbox in that, like that man, we're fucking coming. Like it wouldn't have given that, hey, we're going to step on your jugular type of approach. The competition that we've been craving since the PS3 and the 360 days, right? When they used to fight for our fucking money, and before the last generation's massacre, at least. So we've been missing that. And I think, and that's when I thought about it after today, that's what I realized that I'm like, holy shit, man, these people are out for blood. Like, they are serious about this. They are really, really, really serious about this. This is not the Xbox One. This is not Don Matrick. This is not, oh, hey, we're going to, at the end of the day, yeah, hey, a lot of goodwill that they've done with their customers. And, obviously everything that we know about Game Pass and its value and the incredible value, right? But you're talking about, man, this is an unbelievable move. Like, they were just like, nah, fuck you. You want to play our games? You come to our service. We're not playing that good guy bullshit anymore, right? And to me, after thinking about it, I'm like, wow, this is competition. This is what we want, right? So, well, yeah, you're right, Agassicles. That's what it is. Of course, it's about Game Pass. That's what it is. But I'm just saying, like, to make this kind of move and to lock out so many people, I personally wasn't expecting it. But to see it done, it looked amazing. It looked amazing. And yes, yeah. So and Diego's right. It was just a very, very unbelievable move, to be honest with you. And again, like I wasn't disappointed. I don't care, right? I was just shocked that they actually pulled it off and they actually said it. And on top of that, 20 games coming. 20 older Bethesda games coming to Game Pass starting tomorrow, some of them with FPS boost. They got announcements coming in the summer, for new games or whatever it is. And then there's also a rumor on March 18th, publication that you freelance for, Nicholas. In a bit, you're going to maybe tell us a little bit, maybe kind of, sort of. But apparently on March 18th, they might, apparently there's a rumor that there's going to be another Xbox game showcase. So it seems like they're really going to ride that momentum and that wave. And this is fucking terrific, man, because like you said earlier, Mike, like this is probably the best time to jump in at this point. I mean, it's amazing what they're doing, especially with EA. Yeah. And Mariano's right. The customer does win. And it's especially what they have with EA and now this, and there's no matter what I say, it's honestly not enough. But Nick, I'm going to hand it over to you because I want to see what you think of this whole situation. Were you surprised? Or is this what you thought was going to happen?
This is exactly how I knew this was going to come across, because even the way Phil Spencer worded it in terms of, it's about catering, it's about treating their consumers like first-class citizens. Now, one of the things, this is something PlayStation's championed very much through the PlayStation 4 generation, was when you buy a PlayStation 4, PlayStation makes you feel like you are the best. They give you the best experiences and everything else. Now, what Xbox is kind of does, they don't care if you're on an Xbox they don't care if you're on Xbox or PC. They want to give you the best experience because you're a customer for them through Game Pass, or buy their games on Steam. They want to give you that best experience. And how do you give people the best experience? Well, you deliver them games. This is what people have been screaming at Xbox about for years, myself included. Where are the games? Where are the single player games? Where are these types of games? And in a single move, they picked up studios like, don't get me wrong, Bethesda's made some missteps. But even then, like, they fixed Fallout 76. Elder Scrolls Online is one of the premier MMO titles on the market now.
Yes.
And they've done a lot to, bring that together. And Bethesda's Softworks in itself has a lot of work to do with Fallout, Starfield, Elder Scrolls. There's a lot to be done there. But like when you have, when you've got studios like id Software, Machine Games, Arcane, Tango Gameworks, these are some of the premier single player studios that make games that not everyone has played. The biggest thing that's warmed my heart through this, because I'm always about, people experiencing these games and seeing people going, oh my God, this game's coming to Game Pass. I've never even played this franchise. I'm going to give it a shot. To me, that's worth its weight in gold there. To me, that makes me happy. The amount of people I had DMing me today going, hey, I'm playing my first Wolfenstein game, or hey, I'm playing as much as
amazing though.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, oh my God, you've owned a console for this long, you haven't played these games? Yeah. But also it's like, hey, I don't care. You're part of it now. You're part of this with me now. We're talking more about these games as a whole. If if anything comes from this acquisition is financial security for these studios to make their wild, wacky
I like what Nick is saying, baby.
This is important stuff. Like, as long as these studios keep making games and people can play these games and they're accessible to people, and I love some of the things I've seen of people being like, well, how can we all play together if the games don't come to PlayStation? It's the same way we can all play together in Marvel's Avengers with that Spider-Man DLC, right?
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I was just going to mention that too, where it's like there's a very simplistic way to play with your friends on Xbox. I've come to find out. With PlayStation, it's you always cross that answer. Hey, buddy, do you have this? Have you purchased this specific game only? When it's like, yo, bro, you got Game Pass? Oh, we're good then. You know what I mean? So like, that takes away a lot of the barriers.
Yeah, and that's ultimately what Xbox is about right now. It's eliminating barriers. And the exclusivity thing isn't a barrier when you think about it, because Xbox doesn't care where you play. They don't care if you're on PC. They don't care if you're on your phone. They don't care if you're on an Xbox platform. Everyone made fun of them for, the whole, you can play us anywhere. And everyone's like, that's stupid. Why would you want to not care about the console? Most people still play on the console. But a ton of people are playing on PC too. You look at Forza Horizon 4 right now. It is the biggest racing game in history right now. It's at over 40 million players now. And that's a 20 million player boost in a year. It was in the top 10 best-selling games in the US during December via the NPDs for a game that was 2 years old. Anyone that's saying Xbox doesn't have momentum at this point can't put their biases in their back pocket. And it's the same thing as the people that are like, well, consolidation's bad for the industry. And I think it's really stop the hand wringing and everything else. When Tencent's investing millions of dollars from laundered Chinese operations into every goddamn studio in North America, and you're hand wringing because Microsoft spent $7.5 billion to buy a relatively mid-sized publisher, Ubisoft could buy. Microsoft could buy Ubisoft and another big publisher like EA, and they still wouldn't have as much influence as Tencent does on the market. So people just need to stop the hand wringing. Just to piggyback off of that, that was something that I actually mentioned. I think it was yesterday, or when they announced that the deal was done, right? Because it's such bullshit, right? Like everybody's just talking about, all of a sudden it's a monopoly. All of a sudden it's a monopoly. It's just like, why, man? Where was the monopoly, at least with Embracer Group and the over 50 freaking studios that they own and the 5,000 employees that they have? Where was the monopoly with that? I mean, I don't understand, and I just basically said, don't pick and choose when you want
when you want capitalism to be,
Okay,
effective,
or whatever.
all right,
Mhm.
based
Yeah.
on, your console warring bullshit, like just get the fuck out of here. If you're salty, you're salty. That's your fault, right? Like if you're a fanboy, that's your fucking fault. But
Yeah.
don't be fucking salty and try to include some bullshit that you didn't talk about
People
Yeah.
or argue for before. Like it's so
people
stupid,
are
man.
reaping what they sow. There was a bunch of people who have
Yeah.
made their whole personality the past 7 years going,
Yeah.
Microsoft can't compete. They'll never compete because people like Terry Myerson will make sure the Xbox division never has money. The moment Terry Myerson was fired back in, I think it was 2016, 2017, or sorry, they parted ways. He was fired. Get over it. I knew change was coming. And then they were like, oh, Phil Spencer sits on the board with Nadella. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. It's coming. And to think that since 2017, Xbox Game Studios consisted of 6 studios. In 3, basically roughly almost 4 years, we're now sitting at 23. And Matt Booty's saying vague statements like, yeah, we're still shopping, but, wait and see what happens. They're looking for the right partners. Like, this is an insane time to play video games. Because just because Xbox has Bethesda doesn't mean Naughty Dog's all of a sudden going to suck. It doesn't mean Sony Santa Monica.
That's the problem. It's like, I don't understand how people think. It's all of a sudden like, oh, all of a sudden it's Santa Monica, Naughty Dog, and fucking everybody else. Oh yeah, fuck them. They suck. They're terrible.
Yeah,
no.
The best.
It's like, dude,
all right.
Like, hey, look, I'm just as happy as everybody else, but Jesus Christ, man, like, what the hell? Like, these people are still working. They still have a pedigree. They're still making games. You can't just make these studios irrelevant just because you're happy about a move that was made. You know, I mean, so no, that's a good point. Honestly, like, they have their day. Let them have their day. They absolutely deserve it. They fucking owned it today. They owned it, I mean, but at the same time, like, just, I mean, that's fandom, right? That's fandom. Fandom gets to like the.
No, it's like the only downside to this act is the fanboys going at each other's throats. You know what I mean? That's the only downside I would say, because of they're just so committed to one side or one way, where it's like, blah, like, look at what Xbox did, or like, oh yeah, I'm super like salty because of Xbox's move today, and it's like, I mean, are you though? Buy an Xbox, stop being salty, and have some fucking fun. Like, it's all good, dude. It's all good because as a customer, you don't really have to like lay in bed with Sony. You don't really have to lay in bed with Xbox. Like, that's the greatness of it. You know what I mean? And it's like, these two big machines are going to move and evolve the way they want to. And at the end of the day, you would have to be like swarming their offices for them to even make a change that they'll consider like, oh, the fans want this. Like, they're smart. They've been in and out. They've been doing this for how many years now? There is so much more growing that the gaming industry has, just like technology, just like anything that has been around. Comic books is a good example. Like, they've been kind of doing the same thing, but there's been evolutions. Video games have been made from them, movies have been made from them. Like, and that is another evolution within the gaming realm, is like, they're going to actually start making good video game movies. Like, they're going to, these companies and studios are going to start teaming up and making, like, I loved what Nick said earlier, where it's like, now Bethesda is going to have the opportunity to have security and finances to make.
Don't worry about that. That's my fire alarm again.
To make these, ideal games masses. Like, it's going to be huge, good graphics, whatever the case is, and, it's Xbox. This is an American-made company. This is Microsoft we're talking about here. They're gonna do it, man, and they're gonna keep growing whether the fans like it or not. They're gonna figure it out. And I think you've said this, Mo, once before, was that like the Xbox One's lifespan it's like one of those double-edged swords where it's like, yeah, it sucked, but then at the same time it was good because they learned a lesson from like shitty instances, which is good. I feel like that's good. You want to learn from those instances instead of like be brought down by those instances, and Xbox, they're able to come back. Doom matches Xbox just like Halo and Gears does. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Skyrim now in my mind like gives me an Xbox vibe, and I like that a lot. I get the same feeling that when I think Bloodborne or when I think God of War. Like, it's not like it's not like shining from these IPs that it's like they're only exclusives. They're still games to me. You know what I'm saying? They're still only a game to me. But at the end of the day, like I like the energy that Xbox is giving off. And these games, these like first person story driven type of games are like, dude, I'm loving this. Mo, they're doing what I was like asking for a few months back, where it's like I just want to feel the same way about Xbox as I feel about PlayStation, where it's like it's its own thing.
So you feeling it now, Mike? Are you feeling it?
I am feeling it, bro.
I love your energy. I love your energy.
Mike Greenberg, you just threw up the fucking X, bro. What is going on? I've been podcasting with you for a year, and I've never seen you throw up an X. Oh,
that was amazing. That was amazing. I thought maybe it was a seizure at first, but it was really dude,
someone send that to Aaron Greenberg right now.
Oh my god,
that was amazing.
That shit,
that was amazing. Like a bigger thing, bro. Like I don't see like these Xbox fanboys being like in their pictures and stuff, or do they?
They do.
Some do.
If you ever see an Xbox like Fan Fest or E3, oh God bless, I miss those.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would get green stripes tattooed on my forearms just to, you know. I need a onesie. Where's my fucking onesie?
I'm shedding a tear. It's beautiful.
I need an Xbox onesie with a PlayStation cape. That's what I want.
Perfect.
And then a Switch like mask or something.
You guys have covered it all, but Xbox has been playing the long game since 2013, and it's paying off. And people again just kind of counted them out because they weren't delivering those single player IPs. They weren't they didn't have studios like Naughty Dog busting out the Last of Us, and I think they just counted them out, man. And it's coming. I mean, you pump enough money and resources, and they were patient, and they done fucked up on the Xbox One, and they reorged, and they went back on a bunch of shit. They launched Game Pass, and ever since Game Pass, the upward momentum has been huge. In all seriousness, it's nice to see competition again, and it's nice to see. Just them being in that same realm as PlayStation again. I want that, the 360 era to be back.
Yeah.
I want that kind of feeling that hey, what's coming out this month? What's hot? It's good to see, and it's good that these, like Nick said, these studios that in this environment, honestly, has been kind of shaky for some of these studios, and we've seen lots of layoffs and lots of shutterings, and for them to get bought up by Big Daddy Microsoft isn't a bad thing. And I think Microsoft has learned a lot from the early days when they bought like Halo Wars and decided to make it Halo Wars and all that kind of stuff, where they're not as heavy-handed. I feel like Phil Spencer has learned a lot in his years in Xbox, and I think he's going to give these studios just the funding and the freedom that they need to come out with some of these awesome projects, and hopefully they won't be bleeding edge again. But if they're anything but bleeding edge, then I think we're going to be okay, and we're going to see some really good games, and risks aren't necessarily bad. And it's just nice to have that kind of financial coverage that these studios need to give gamers games, and that's what it comes down to. And you'll be able to play them on Game Pass, on PC, and on Xbox, and anything else that decides to be Game Pass compatible. So I'm excited. The news was huge. I mean, I wish I had as much energy as Mike, but I'm old. So this is as much energy as I have. But no, I'm super excited for this. It really feels like a good fit.
I mean, dude.
Yeah, one thing I really love about what Xbox is doing is that they're not forgetting things either. One thing that I really loved about the PlayStation 4 is it was like, God of War, Last of Us Part 2 is really hitting off on really big IPs they had. And then there was games that kind of just like slid under the radar that I was like, man, it would have been cool to see something more from like The Order 1886. It was like, oh, there's so much potential for that game as an IP, not just as a one-off, but Ready at Dawn's owned by Facebook now, and God knows where that's going to end up. But like, there was a part of me that was so happy when I saw State of Decay 3 announced, because I'm such a State of Decay nerd. But after 2, I was like, it launched shaky. It wasn't the biggest hit, even on Game Pass. I was like, this is probably the end. This is probably the last one I'm going to get to play. And then, you know, amongst the Forzas, the Halos, and everything else, State of Decay is still right up there. And they're like, hey, this is still a franchise we're interested in doing. And I really love that they're finding that balance and listening to, hey, if 2 million people love this, that's good enough for us.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's that's actually, you said it pretty well, honestly. It's I'm telling you, man, you know, my take on it was that, you know, again, like once I let it marinate, I was like, wow. So these guys are really, this is not status quo, right? Like, this is not status quo anymore. This is not like, oh, you know, we're just going to be gliding along and, you know, Game Pass, we'll keep adding games. Like, no, man, this was a killer move. It was a good move. It was good to see. And me personally, I fucking love it, you know, like, I mean, because of the competition, like we've all been talking about. Right, the competition, that competitive fire that has been missing for so long, at least for one full generation, we didn't really get to see that. You know, in terms of just bringing the heat with software and games and whatever. Sony was pretty much almost uncontested last you know, generation. Yeah, and now all of a sudden you got something like this, and you're putting them only on your console or only on your service. And like right here, like Bizzle's mentioning, right? I mean, you're talking about, dude, now you can seriously say shooters, kings of shooters. I mean, fuck, you have Halo and Doomslayer just by themselves. You have 2 of the greatest RPG makers in the world between Bethesda and what's it called? And sorry, correct me, man. Obsidian, right? Mm-hmm. And then you're talking about JRPGs, and then you're talking about Tango Gameworks. Now you got a Japanese studio who specializes in horror games, right? And it's just unbelievable to to just lock them into your platform. And
it's amazing. It's amazing. And
tell them, you know what? Sorry, one more thing. Hold your thought. The only thing I wanted to say is, all I've heard over the past couple of months or few months is like, if this was Sony, they would do it. If this was Sony, they would do it, right? And my argument was, well, yeah, but this is not Sony. Sony does it, yeah, they do it, but Microsoft has been successful. The Xbox brand has been successful in doing things their way. That doesn't have to be like Sony. But now, boom, you know, it's just like you hit them right back with the same shit that they would have done. Killer move, man. Yeah,
it's a beautiful move. And I was talking to my coworker about the news, and he's just a casual gamer, you know, Call of Duty, likes the Xbox because party chat is easy. And I told him about it, and this is perfect. I'm just gonna end this. You segued right into it. He just said, "Oh, sounds like what Sony does," and that was it. I was like, dude, that's perfect. Like, really, that's what it comes down to. It's fine when Sony does it. So, yeah, you're playing in the same game now, man.
Yeah, I mean, I was just under the impression, again, that's why I was just like, no, they're gonna do things differently. You know, they're gonna make it. They're gonna continue to be successful in their own way. But to just do something like this, man, oh yeah. Here, I'll throw it up again, dude. Yeah,
so I'll throw a little history in for you too, though.
Throw it in, baby. I want to hear it. I got nothing but time.
Back in the day, back in Bethesda's early days, before they came to console, they were PC focused, right? All their games, all Bethesda stuff was on PC primarily. Id Software, all that stuff was always on PC. So they wanted to bring it to console. And Todd Howard and company went to PlayStation first and went, hey, we want to bring these games to a console audience because we think this is something really special. And PlayStation at the time laughed them off because they said that there was no way that Western developers could make RPGs that could compete with the JRPG market at the time in the mid to late 90s. Which, when you think about Final Fantasy and all those other games, yeah, okay, that's a pretty big fence to hit for. So they went to Xbox in the early 2000s, the OG Xbox, and Seamus Blackley and all the great stuff they were doing over there. They were trying to be weird. They were trying to be zany, and Bethesda was like, "Hey, can we put stuff on your box?" And they're like, "Hell yeah, we love weird shit. Let's do weird shit." And Bethesda has had a relationship with Xbox since the beginning. And there's always been, you can find multiple Todd Howard interviews where they ask him about PlayStation and he just kind of laughs and goes, "Yeah, it's a thing." Like someone asked him about, are you guys ever going to patch Skyrim on PS3? Because for those that don't know, Skyrim on PS3 was a nightmare. You'd stack up your saves and eventually the game would take like 30 minutes to load and crash.
Yeah, it
was a nightmare. And someone asked Todd Howard, "So what's the progress like on the PS3 version?" They're like, "When we get there."
Yeah.
So there's always kind of been that kind of like, yeah, okay.
Mhm.
So it's just when they said, Bethesda's being bought, I'm like, it's going to be exclusive. And I don't even think Microsoft's going to be the one swinging for that. It's going to be Bethesda swinging for that. And shout out to the sly dogs at Bethesda who knew they were getting bought, but still took money from PlayStation for Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop just to go, "Oh, yeah, we are owned by Microsoft now, but all right, see you guys later." And just took the bag and ran.
Why the hell not, dude? Honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just more money for them. Although those games, I'm not really sure. I'm not even sure about, because all I see is, there was like that Game Informer thing about Deathloop where they said like there's not even an Xbox version in the works. So I don't even know what's going on with Deathloop. I've heard timed exclusivity before, but was it actually confirmed, or is this just something that people are speculating on because it's a Bethesda studio that's making the game? For instance, like in the Game Informer article, they said that they haven't even worked on an Xbox version yet, and as of now, all they have is PS5 and PC. So I'm wondering whether like this is something where is Sony publishing this game, kind of like with Xbox and Sunset Overdrive, where they have the publishing rights to the game. I don't know. That's why. Like because I have no idea. So
here's the thing with timed exclusivity.
Yeah.
Because I've talked with Richard Hogue off and on. He does a lot of legal stuff, and the thing is there's a lot of things you can put in your timed exclusivity contract. I've talked with indie developers too. A thing that Xbox and PlayStation both like to do when it comes to console launch exclusives or limited timed exclusives, they do not under any circumstances want you talking about coming to other platforms or talking about the other versions being available. I know for a fact that developers will have other versions in the works, but they won't talk about it until their exclusivity deal's done. So could they, there's no way they could confirm there's an Xbox version. So to save their butts, they might go, yeah, one doesn't even exist. We're not even going to hint at it. We don't even want to, go anywhere near that. But the thing is, with Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop, it's never been clarified properly. It's kind of like in that limbo area where Square Enix was playing with Final Fantasy VII Remake, where they're like, maybe, if you guys want it, maybe. Yeah. You buy us dinner and take us out somewhere nice, and we'll think about giving you a port. It's always up in the air, and Sony's really good about Sony, if nothing else, is brilliant in their exclusivity contracts and being able to keep developers focused on not going, "Oh, this comes to PC in 6 months. Oh, it's in a slideshow. Pull it. Looking at you, Demon Souls. Looking at you, Demon Souls.
Yeah. Even Demon Souls, man. But it's business, man.
Yeah.
It blows me away that people don't think
Doom
about
Killer,
that.
man. It's business, homie. That's why. Yeah. Selfish or not, it's business, dude. That's the way it works. So so that was really it. And then the other thing too is this was a conversation I actually had to Ainsley. Shout out to Ainsley. He's in here. Thanks for stopping by, homie. So I actually was asking earlier about Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6, right? Because right now, again, everybody's running with this whole, we already know, yes, Phil Spencer confirmed it, games exclusive, blah, blah, blah. We've already talked about it, but Starfield and Elder Scrolls have been announced for quite a while now, right? So do you think that these games would actually sneak in through the previous contractual agreements, or have those not been made yet? Because right now everybody's just running away with like, no way.
Yeah.
Starfield, yeah. Elder Scrolls 6 was announced when, in 2017, 2018?
Yeah.
I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was at that Bethesda conference. Yeah. I mean, that was just like that little cutscene that they showed, or that trailer that just said Elder Scrolls 6. It was just an announcement trailer. So was there something contractually made before, or I mean, since then, for at least these two games, considering that they've been announced for a while? Like, Nick, are you expecting these two games at least? Like, I think if any games are going to still go multi-platform until like that final wall comes down, it could be either those games or one of those two games. What do you think?
So here's my thing, and I will gladly come back and hold the L for this one if I'm wrong. Starfield and Elder Scrolls will not be on PlayStation. And here's the reason why. Because everyone ran with it. There was a rumor last year that Starfield was being bought as a console exclusive for PlayStation.
Oh, yeah.
Sony was hunting around. They wanted to lock it down for themselves. And now Microsoft bought Bethesda. Here's the thing. If Sony was shopping the market to buy it as a console exclusive, that means it could go the other way.
Right.
And it's a new IP. When Phil Spencer said legacy IP, he could hint at Elder Scrolls. He could be talking about Elder Scrolls. It depends what you define as legacy. Starfield, there's no legacy. It's a new IP. We haven't even seen it yet. Mm-hmm. So Starfield, Xbox PC only, and Elder Scrolls 6, when it comes out in like 2023, will be Xbox PC only. Period. End of story. People can sit there, and I'm going to put the quotations in, some, because that's everyone's favorite word this week. Those won't be some of the games that cross the barrier.
So you think there no chance? No chance they're going. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's just what I was. What about you, Kevin? What do you think?
Same. I think legacy, to me, in the tech world, legacy is anything that exists as of right now, and that doesn't mean your next product rendition either. That doesn't mean a sequel. That just means whatever the fuck is out or in production right now. So like Elder Scrolls Online, I could see living on, but if they came out with an Elder Scrolls Online 2, that I wouldn't fucking release it. I mean, that's no longer legacy. That's new production and new development, like Elder Scrolls 6 or definitely Starfield. No, it's not going to happen, dude. They're going to keep the current, PlayStation owners happy as you'd want. But then, they have to use that to lure them over to, the Game Pass side. So it wouldn't be a financially prudent move for them to just not do that, from the way Phil phrased everything today. It just feels like they really want to attract, these people to their platform.
Yeah, no, my only thing is, the whole reason I posed the question is because these games have been announced for a while now. So could it be possible that they are part of that contractual agreements that were already made that they are going to honor? That's it. That's what I meant by it, are they going to make exceptions? No, it's not going to be an exception. Exception in terms of contractual agreements only.
Sure. Yeah. And those contractual agreements can be broken. I mean, they can break them and pay a fucking fine and be done. Look at how much Microsoft makes, man. If they really wanted to say fuck you, I mean, they could.
Yeah, but for him to go on,
will they?
Yeah, but he's too professional to do that, man. I mean, for him to just say it, and even when they first announced the Bethesda acquisition, I mean, he was just straight up honest, and he's like, we're going to honor any deal that we've had from before. So, I mean, I don't see him doing that, right? Like, I mean, he's going to look out for his brand, but at the same time, you don't get the sense that he's a piece of shit, even though business is business, at the end of the day. But like, still, he's already said it from before. He said, like, no, we're going to honor it. And then he said it again today. Any agreements that we've had from before, we're going to honor it. So yeah, I doubt that he would do that. I'm just curious as to whether those two specifically would still sneak across because of like previous agreements or whatever. But
I see what you're
probably
saying,
not.
Mo.
Yeah,
Because
what do
you
you
got to
think, Mike?
you got to think about too, like whenever you're making moves like this that are pretty big, like even just between us and the podcast, Mo, how long ago have we set out a date like, yo, we need to get together and figure this thing out or whatever, and it'll be weeks. But when you're talking like companies and all that kind of stuff, it could be a year, like years in advance. You know, we were talking about something before the podcast, and it kind of makes me think about like movies and those type of entertainment things. They do a lot of that stuff for the toys, okay, because toys sell big. So now what I'm thinking is in video game land, like they're also thinking about their future players. Everybody, there is somebody right now that's in their house. He's a young boy or girl that is thinking, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to ask my mom and dad if I can get an Xbox. I've never played a video game in my life, but tomorrow I'm going to do that. There's going to be millions of those people, especially now because like I said, I always am and always will hit on the internet thing because gaming was never like this. It was never like, I'm going to talk shit about this game so I can get likes. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, but now it's different because of the internet. You know what I'm saying? They're thinking about like all these things. You know, they got a group of people paid just to think about that stuff. Like, yeah, when you show up to work, go in your little creative station and like draw it up or whatever. You know what I mean? So like, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of moves. Like this is the first step. You know, this is one of many steps that we'll see the industry itself evolve into because of how big it's getting. You know what I mean? I like this. I love this. This is what you expect gaming. Like too, it's like, why is this? Some of me, man, seems like, why is this news so like, oh my God, look at what's happening. I get it. But at the same time, I'm like, did y'all expect anything else? Like, do y'all not expect these studios to not buy, or these like producers and people like to not invest and want to buy these studios in? And like where else is it going to go? That's the only way it grows is that more studios are being created, more studios are being like enveloped by other bigger brands and stuff like that. And it's like you give anybody enough money, they're going to be like, all right, we'll do that. You know what I mean? And so to me, it's like, is it really that surprising? I don't think so, man. Is the exclusivity stuff surprising? Like, I get it, like from what Phil Spencer like seems like, and like the personality stuff, and like it's like he's not a piece of shit, but it is business, and business is shitty. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's like one of those things where it's like, I'm sure they're navigating the best way they can. They want the fans to be happy, because if your fans ain't happy, they're not giving you money. You know, and so it's kind of like the companies aren't going to sit there and just like bow to the fans and like bend to the fans like every like, hey, I want Iron Man's laser to bounce off of Captain America's shield. Yeah, well, you got that, and you're still bitching, you know, kind of thing. So it's like, this is one small move that is going to lead into the future to other bigger moves. You know, it's going to be a give and take thing right now. And I'm seriously, this is to me what gaming should be. It should be like, try to convince me to only play one console, because I'm loving all three of them.
That's what I was saying earlier, man. That's 360 PS3 days. That's where it's at.
Dude, that to me is like the Mo, the 360.
Yeah, dude,
days.
that was fucking cutthroat at that time, man.
I love those days, dude, because
Jay Allard and Peter Moore and the tattoos and
dude, it seriously is what gaming is about. Because if you like, games is what you play. The consoles is what you play on, but games is what you play. You want those exclusivities. Like, I mean, if you don't want them, like, and that's okay or whatever. But what I'm saying is, you want that competition to push each other, so both go up and both raise. At the end of the day, the customer is the winner, because it's pushing. Granted, though, as you push up, you're gonna like fall, and you're gonna like, you know, take a misstep, because you're just like trying to go and trying to push and do your thing. And that might, you know, it's going to be, you know, take 2 steps, maybe 1 back, 2 again, 3 back, you know, 2 more again. Sure. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's an evolution, man. It's always going to happen. And Xbox is in a good spot right now, dude. When you say, whenever I like resonated it all, Mo, like whenever you say that little phrase, I am like, dude, the feeling hit me like, oh, like it was physical. I was like, there they are. There's Xbox. Hell yeah. I don't know. It was good stuff. Yeah, today's a good day for sure.
Yeah, man. Look, I mean, we've talked about this too on the show before, like, I mean, so even multiple times we're like, come on, man. Where's that fire? Where's that energy? Where's that fire? Where's that energy? Let's see it.
This is good, man. This is good. And we needed something after that fucking Halo reveal. That was like, that felt like the fucking nail in the coffin. Because it was
just another fucking man. Because it was just another gut punch that
it was, man. It was.
That's what happened, and then that's when everybody's like, "Oh no, not again! Don't do this right now! Don't do this right now!"
You don't want these companies to fail. You don't. Regardless, even the fucking fanboys don't. Who the fuck would you bitch about? Yeah, I mean,
exactly. Where's all your views gonna come from?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how are you gonna make videos and clickbait bullshit to fucking get on your YouTube channel if Xbox dies or PlayStation dies? And all those guys, we've talked about this. All those guys behind the scenes, they're sucking each other's dicks. They love it.
Yeah.
They're fucking having. They're having. Sorry. They're having coffee with each other. I mean, and
you post this today. I'll post this another day.
Yeah. I killed him. I fucking killed him. Come back, man. I'm sorry. But it's true. I mean, they're all like, "Yo, hey, get in my Lambo. I'll take you to fucking lunch at this nice, expensive restaurant while we fucking, watch these fanboys steel cage it out." Like they don't give a shit, dude.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, that's true. First, there would be nobody to bitch about. And second, I mean, I don't even want to get into the whole fanboy thing, about seeing them fail or whatever. But yeah, dude, I mean, my whole take on it is, no matter what side you're on, if you're salty about it, I understand, it sucks. You can't play Bethesda games, but at the same time, being on a, again, it's kind of like what Nick was saying earlier, right? Your studios didn't just disappear just because this happened. I mean, so you're still going to get the games. Right now, what this does is this makes Sony have to, work on their strategy as well, right? Because now you have to figure out a way to keep up with your AAAs, which goes back to what Sean Layden said about AAAs. And Sean Layden said, he's like, AAAs themselves. He's like AAA. Yes, look at Diego. See, that's exactly what it is, man. They do. We really do. I swear to God, it doesn't fucking matter. But it really goes back to what Sean Layden said with, AAAs are it's not a cheap endeavor. And he said the system that we're currently on right now what did he say? He said it's not sustainable, right? He said it the way that it's going right now. So obviously you have Sony, who have world-class developers under them, but they don't have as many studios as Xbox has right now. So Xbox has the Xbox not only has the library now, to kind of give them more space, to give them more time to that they have the amount of studios, and the library that they also have gives them more time to work on the shit that they're working on now, right? But they also have the capability now to punch out bangers. You're talking every few months, right? And that I don't know, man. Again, I'm not going to pretend to be some corporate overlord. I have no idea. I could be talking out of my ass, but I'm just saying, I mean, this is definitely going to throw it definitely throws a wrench in the engine a bit, right? Because you have to adjust a few things. You definitely have to adjust some things. So yeah, we all know Sony's games are great. Sony's going to keep pumping them out. We got Ratchet and Clank, and we got Returnal from Housemarque, and whatever it is, right, that they have on that we haven't seen yet. God of War Ragnarok and Horizon Zero Dawn, the next one. I keep saying Horizon Zero Dawn, but I mean whatever. But the point is the games are coming, but still, right? I mean, now you're going to have to look at it and be like, okay, how are you going to fill up that gap, right? You used to depend on third-party titles to fill in that gap, and now you just got a huge chunk. You got a big-ass publisher who was responsible for that. Dude, if Elder Scrolls 6 released, right? If Elder Scrolls 6 released, you could rest on that for at least 6 months, right? As let's just say, Sony will be like, fuck it. If we have another AAA coming out, you can delay it. We can delay it. We can take all the time in the world to polish it, right? But It's not the end of the world, right? It's not the end of the world, but still, it is a significant AAA publisher or a AAA stack of games or a library that you're just not going to have right now and going forward in the future. So now you're going to have to figure out how you're going to fill in those gaps. And that's really what I'm talking about. It's not the games. Actually, the games will come. The games will continue to come, but the gaps is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I want to piggyback on that because Xbox is actually going to come into a scenario very, very soon where they're going to have a bunch of games ready and they can't drop them close together. So what people don't really realize is like start talking RPGs. We'll just talk RPGs. I love RPGs.
Yeah.
You got In Exile. They made the original Fallout games. Brian Fargo created the original Fallout games. You have Bethesda Softworks with Todd Howard, who made, Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. And you have Obsidian, who made Fallout New Vegas. The entire Fallout creative mindset is now owned and part of Xbox Game Studios. You have Elder Scrolls. You got Elder Scrolls 6. You've got Starfield. You've got Fable. You've got whatever In Exile's working on right now. You've got whatever Obsidian's working on. You've got Outer Worlds 2 probably somewhere in this mix. There's going to be so many RPGs. Xbox is going to have to go, okay, well, I guess you can go here, and you can go here, and I guess you can go here. And, that's a good problem to have. And to circle back to what you were talking about is the insustainability of AAA games. The big thing that people don't understand about Sean Layden's comment, because what people took from Sean Layden's comment was, oh, well, he's just saying that these big games aren't sustainable, but they're amazing. How couldn't they be sustainable? Here's the thing. When game budgets start swelling, and you start spending more and more and more money on games, you need to make more money to keep stockholders and shareholders happy. When your game has to sell 20 million copies to keep your shareholders happy, that's a scary number to hit every time because not every game is going to knock it out of the park that way.
Right.
And that's kind of why Xbox uses Game Pass. Because instead of going to shareholders with, well, we sold 3 million copies, they go, look how many Game Pass subscribers we have. This is great. Look at our subscription service. It's a way to circumvent shareholders and everything else. Sony's going to have their own challenges, but with that being said, I think Jim Ryan, as much as people don't like Jim Ryan because he's more business than games, he's going to be good for those shareholders because he'll be able to go, look, game's not ready. We're going to suck up some money, but I can guarantee you it'll sell this many copies. Yeah. And that's what he's going to have to do.
You know what Jim Ryan reminds me of? He reminds me of Roger Goodell. If you're an NFL fan, Roger Goodell is the commissioner of the NFL. He has a shitty personality. Nobody fucking likes him, but at the end of the day, he's a fucking fantastic businessman, right? And that's why all the owners love him. All the guys who write the paychecks, they love him, right? Because he brings them more money. And that's really how Jim Ryan is. Now, if you talk, like, I mean, I don't want to say he's got a shitty personality. It's not like I personally know the guy, but he's just not personable, right? He's not like Spencer, for instance. He's not like Sean Layden. He's not like Shuhei Yoshida. He doesn't have that personality that draws you in.
He doesn't need it,
though.
He doesn't hide the fact he's business.
No, he doesn't hide it at all.
Yeah. He's like, video games, cool, right? Pay me.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
And that's why honestly he's put in the position that he's in, because I mean if he's put in that position to maximize profit, who gives a shit if you like him or not? As long as your games are coming and the studios are producing, who gives a fuck whether you like the guy or not? Or it just, I mean, I get it, right? Like, I mean, you compare him to Spencer. Spencer's got that likable personality, or Aaron Greenberg, who's in charge of marketing, but whatever. But I mean, Sean Layden was likable. What's his name? Shuhei Yoshida was likable. And then what's the name of the guy who did the mic drop on E3? Oh my God, what was his name? Oh my God, how did I forget his name?
Jack Tretton?
Jack Tretton too, man. Jack Tretton, people liked him too, So, I mean, they had the personalities from before, but Sony just kind of is going in like a different direction, right? They're going with like a more, not like, they don't want to be, it doesn't seem like, they want to be personable, right? They want to kind of like keep it like Apple professional in a sense.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean it's wrong. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It doesn't mean it's better. It's just, that's just the way they want to operate. Right. And that's the way they want to do it. So that's why we always talk about
everybody likes to compare though, man.
Yeah, man. But they're both successful doing things in their own way. And it works. It works.
And that's the great thing, because we're watching Xbox try to be like you see them today. They're like, we're really proud of Tango Games Works, and we really want to highlight our endeavors in Japan, and we really want to focus on the Japanese market. While PlayStation is very much westernizing, or like, hey, look, we aren't just doing JRPGs. We've got these massive AAA open world Western style games. And there's kind of a little bit of people getting lost in between, where they're like, well, I miss when Sony did the weird Japanese stuff. And, there's some Xbox guys, they're like, well, what about the over the top Western stuff? You guys are all going to still have that content. It's just what PR is trying to make you look at. And people don't seem to be able
what, man?
To look through it. Yeah.
You know what though? You don't miss the old Japanese stuff because you didn't fucking buy it. That's why they shut down Sony Japan. Right? Like, I mean, it's such bullshit. It's like all of a sudden everybody's like, no, don't get rid of it. They innovated, they brought new stuff. Well, you didn't support. You didn't buy their games. So I mean, kick yourself, really. Every now and then I'll always like put out a tweet. It's just like support new IPs. The other day I put a tweet of, even though obviously it's not a new IP, but I put up a picture of Shadows of the Damned, right? And I'm like, this game is so underappreciated because nobody wanted to support it, right? I mean, it didn't fly under the radar. It still has like a fan base, but not significant enough to take it serious for a sequel, but it's like, if you want innovation, support it when it comes. If you want new IPs, support them. Instead, you just keep wanting your sequels. Right, and then I can point to a lot of I can point to a lot of IPs that just weren't supported. So don't just sit there and say like, oh, make us this, or oh, what happened here and what happened there. But if you don't support them, then money talks and bullshit walks, and that's the way it is. And that's why Japan Studio it's gonna be an afterthought. I mean, it's sad, it sucks, but
see, that's a weird thing you kind of bring up too, Mo. It's like we got like the Xbox over here in America trying to branch out to Japan, and then we got Sony PlayStation over here in Japan trying to reach out to like I mean, granted, these like relationships has been established, but it's like you can't really compare and be like this is better than the other. It's like no. Dude, they're just doing completely two different things. This is like saying there's some sort of like cool little saying there where you compare something ridiculous to something like apples to oranges, I guess is the saying, but I don't like being generic, but whatever. We'll go with it. We'll go apples and oranges, but yeah, it is kind of comparing apples and oranges. And I think you're right. Granted, though, it's easy to latch on to that whole like, but it's just video games and look at how my chat party works and like, look at, like it's easy to dive into that shit. You know what I mean? People are they're like so ready to jump down somebody else's throat without like really looking at stuff, for the bigger picture, and I guess it's like, yeah, dude, you're cool. Like, I get it, man. Like, I mean, but at the same time, I could be like, have you ever played God of War? Well, what do you mean? I'm an Xbox guy. Of course I have it. Well, okay, then. Like, you don't know anything about what that has to offer or what that experience is. Like, but I'm an Xbox fan, so God of War sucks. Like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, whatever.
Yeah, I had a dude literally from 2016 to 2019 literally absolutely scream at me on Twitter about, I can't believe Nicholas doesn't like Uncharted 4. He said it was too bloated compared to Uncharted 2 and 3. It just had terrible pacing. And I was like, dude, did you play the game? And he's like, well, of course I played the game. And then in 2019, I remember this clear as day, he got retweeted into my feed. It's a picture of this dude with the Uncharted 4 box going, finally bought this masterpiece. Can't wait to play it. And I'm like,
so he determined it was a masterpiece before he even bought it, before he even played it. And then he argued with you. Yes. See, that's the magic. That's the magic of Twitter, is they fucking argue with you about shit that they haven't played. Oh, yeah. Right? It's amazing.
It's blind loyalty, man.
I have a dude that literally makes a sock account every month to call me a piece of garbage because he hated my Days Gone review. He has done this endlessly.
Nicholas, that's good, bro. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. You are
Twitter
there,
famous.
bro. That is what it's about, dude.
I want somebody to make a sock account and call me a piece of shit. I'm jealous.
I'm not even trying to tell you that to feel better. It's just that's what it is. Yeah. Like when you have reached that status of where people like want to go out of their way to like, demean you, you're just like, Hell yeah.
You famous, boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
What did I do?
I say it all the time. Like, when people give me hate comments, or like my favorite was I'll guest on a podcast and someone's going, "Well, I'm tuning out because Nicholas is here." I get off on that. Like, people do not understand how.
Yeah, like, see you the fuck
I
later,
get
bro.
off the podcast. I'm just like, oh, where's the Lubriderm? Like, it's great. It's one of the best feelings in the world.
Where's
Yeah,
the Lubriderm?
because you say shit that they don't like.
Yeah,
That's why.
because I'll always say what's on my mind. I will always tell you what my thoughts are, whether it's mainstream or not.
Oh yeah. And look at Lady. Lady just said you haven't made it until someone makes an account to ask to buy your feet
That's true.
pics.
That's a whole other level, dude.
Lady, you have made it.
That
You
is a
have
whole
made
level,
it.
for real.
She should put me on
Feet-
blast like that publicly. I just can't believe she would do that.
If anybody wants foot pictures, I do those on the side too. So my OnlyFans link will come up. Yeah,
Good
hey man,
income.
COVID times are rough. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Hell yeah. I never hate on the hustle, though. I'll tell you that right now.
Yep.
Hey,
Like,
whatever
I see-
works, man.
I
Hey,
see a lot of
chicks-
clickbait on YouTube, and I'm just
Hate
like,
the game,
"Man, fuck
not the
you,
player."
dude," but you just do it, whatever, bro.
Whatever works, man. Some
Yeah.
chick sold her bathwater, so I mean, hey.
I don't take off the pandemic, folks.
I got
She
it.
sold that bathwater and everyone got sick.
Everybody got sick, man.
Flawless advertising, flawless business model, flawless in every sense. Even I was like, this fucking girl, but I was like, I only say that because I wish I thought of it. You know what I mean?
Do you understand how much money she made off of that fucking bathwater?
It probably
don't
was just
want it.
right out of her sink. She probably wasn't even bathwater. It was just sink water.
Yeah, I don't think she actually took a bath in it.
Fuck no, she didn't, man.
Lies.
She just stood
Lies.
underneath it. She just stood underneath a fucking regular faucet. She's just pouring them in. She's like, ha, look at these suckers.
Put her-
$10
yeah.
for this.
Stirred it with her finger. Was like, that's good enough.
Oh my god, what the fuck are we talking about? We're talking about bathwater. This is amazing, man.
We've just gone into the ridiculousness of what gaming has provided for the internet, you know, because dude, I always lean on this, Mo, like, to get a little bit serious again. Gaming was never fucking popular until the internet got like, you know, like how it is today, man. Like you be seeing people who be streaming on Twitch where you're just like, who, what? Like, do you even have the controller in your hand, my friend? Type of, you know, but got personality. Yeah, can you play a video game though? Can you tell me anything about this thing at all? You know, no.
Mm.
But I mean, that's what it is, though. It's like if I was a girl, I would use my body too. I would. I mean, I would, dude.
Mike. You're missing out that you could use your body now as a guy. You just gotta be able to.
Yes, you fucking.
That
You
would have to
totally
be
could.
Like a whole. That would have to be like a whole like rendition, evolution, new IP type shit. It's like, you think the girls got sauce, son?
Oh,
Check out the
man.
Gamer Boys. We'd have to come up with a name. That's a whole
No,
like,
no.
thought
See,
process.
I've since I'm like I'm a larger and more unattractive man. What I've come up with is what I call reverse OnlyFans. So what it is I DM a person and I go, if you don't PayPal me $20 by the end of the day,
I'm gonna
you will
send
see
you
my inner
nudes.
thigh. It's basically like hostage negotiation.
Oh
with
my god!
But that's a good thing, though.
Oh.
There's so many people out there looking for so many different things. Dude, just because you got fans, like, I always look at it this way. First off, supporting other people doesn't hurt your, like, what you're doing, you know?
Yep.
Second off, there's so many people out there that fans of us could be fans of them as well. Fans who want your feet pit might also want the heavy set fella. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
dude,
for sure.
variety is the thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Wow,
why
full circle, full
yeah,
circle.
that's all I was gonna say. And that's why these Xbox exclusives are fucking good. Variety, baby. We want variety.
Right back around again.
That was amazing. All right, we are back on track.
Yeah,
That is good.
right where we left
Damn.
off.
All right, next topic.
Oh, man, what a way to end, dude! Holy shit! There is no next topic, man. That was
There
it.
is no
Oh, that's
Exactly.
good
That
shit.
was it. Hey, man, that was freaking awesome. What a
Swan,
conversation,
Swan in
guys.
chat just like we're talking about our OnlyFans, bro.
That's just,
That was good.
that's just a taste
elegantly
too.
drank
Shit.
over a PS5 with a hamburger in my hand.
Ooh. Subscribe for more.
Dude,
Oh, that was amazing.
they
I
don't know
swear to
it
God.
yet. They don't know
Oh.
it yet. It hasn't been invented, so they don't even know if they want it yet. And when you make
Oh, yeah.
it, then they find
Yeah.
out that, you know what?
Yep.
I didn't know this, but I
Mhm.
like it. I like it.
Yeah. Like
fuck
I like grease dripping on a PS5.
Dude,
Mhm,
you don't
mhm.
know.
You don't know until you know. Mhm.
You really
The
don't
controller
know.
like covering up your stuff, you know? Like
Wow.
haptic feedback, baby.
This is good. Wow. I love you, Mike.
Hey, it's what I do, man.
I love you, man.
Mike, I
That's
love
good
your
shit.
crusty ass feet, man. All right,
Oh, yeah.
they're gonna go places, bro.
are.
Actually, Kevin's crusty ass feet for sure too, man. Oh
Like
yeah,
that.
Nick, you know what you gotta do, dude? I'm telling you, you cut off some parts of your beard and you put them in a bottle and you sell them, dude. You're gonna make fucking.
I'd buy that shit. I'd buy that
This
shit.
is true
Yeah,
right now.
beard hair. Right
100%.
Yeah.
You can
man.
clone me.
Oh yeah.
You
Oh,
can
yeah.
clone me, bro.
I'll start trimming out all the gray hairs and just start putting them in a bottle and start selling the gray ones.
That works too, man.
Yeah,
That works.
wisdom hair.
Wisdom
There you go.
hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just once every 3 months, and you will gain knowledge of the
Yes,
elders.
yes.
You know, put some
That's the
cool
way it
little
is.
gaming like description on it.
You will be better at Titanfall 2 if you consume my beard hair on a weekly basis. Coming soon exclusively to GOG.
That was pretty good. Oh shit.
That was fucking great. Oh man, guys, yeah, this was freaking awesome, dude. Nick, awesome to have you, dude. Awesome
Hey.
to freaking have you. Honestly, it was great. We hope to have you on again too, man.
Hell
This
yeah,
was
man.
fun,
That was a good time.
you know.
Yes.
So
yes.
it was a great conversation. We talked about everything from Ninja Turtles to Bethesda to bathwater to, you know, beard and crusty toes. I love it, man. Swan, I'm sorry about the time you came in, man. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
sorry,
it was just-
man.
yeah, it was just
We really did talk about games, promise.
Oh yeah, no, we did most of the time. So everybody, guys, everybody in the chat, everyone who stayed with us, thank you so much for coming. We hope you laughed. We hope you guys enjoyed yourselves, and we appreciate you guys. And yeah, so we're hoping to at least do more of these in the future. You know, so because I like to hear myself and look at myself even when no one does. So, you know, maybe I got something to offer. I don't know. Maybe Kevin and Mike have
You
more to
okay,
offer,
Mo?
but,
You know, you
I'm
okay. You got potential. You got potential.
it's all right, man. No,
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah. You're the
Nick
guy.
and his
You're my
beard
guy,
carried
Mo.
me. Nick
You're
and his
my
beard
guy, Mo.
carried me today, so I'm good, man.
It's
I'm
very
good.
true.
We're
Good
good.
shit. Hey,
We're
even
good.
false motivation is good motivation. Motivation, stay motivated.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Yeah. So thank you for joining and for listening, and for me and for Kevin and for Mike and our great guest Nick Downie. Follow him, Nick. I didn't even tell them, bro. Where can they find you at, man? Where can they find you? Where can they see you?
Well,
Where can they harass you on Twitter and make egg accounts to fuck with you, man?
Yeah, I'm making one right now.
well, if people want, they can follow me on Twitter at undead3xvi, and you can find all my written work and all the writing I do at windowscentral.com.
All right, man.
Excellent.
All right. Yeah, so that's it. We're out. Thank
It's a
you.
wrap.
Love you. Peace. Take it
Bye.
easy.